we'll go ahead and start, and then wrap.
That's literally the song.
I have no idea. Pillars of Eternity, official soundtrack. That's all I got it as. But Raptor, let's go ahead. Well, you and I will go ahead and collaborate on the recap.
Yeah, I think we can recap it.
To go ahead and catch Basic up. So, let's see, you were there. Were you there for the Claw dungeon?
I remember popping in towards the end of a session. I can't remember when that was.
Okay, that was probably the dungeon session.
Possibly.
I think he showed up at the end.
So I know that we went to a dungeon. Under what context did we go to the dungeon?
We got arrested.
You got arrested in the city of Claw.
Because there was a bounty on our heads.
You got arrested in Claw. Basically, Tywin Gallion had turned you guys in for gold, and
after saying that he would help us,
you were imprisoned in the Claw dungeon, and eventually he broke Rizd out, which in turn broke everybody else out.
Also gave me a weird dagger. Wasn't very specific about what it was for at the time, besides mentioning that it was a key. So that I broke everyone else out with the keys that he gave me. We walked around, killed some guards, because we didn't really have a choice. And then we finally managed to find our way out, probably avoiding some pretty spooky shit. We also fought a gelatinous cube. More like ran away from.
Yeah.
Then we got to the top of a flight of stairs that we found in the dungeon, and there was just a weird slot thing. And we couldn't fucking figure out what's supposed to go in the slot until I was like, hey, dagger. And it opened the door. Don't ask me why, but it did. So then we got out and we ran north of the city to a airship dock, basically, where Tywin took us away from the city of Claw, and actually split part of the bounty that we had on us with us, giving us a total of 300 gold for the party.
Alright.
We then traveled to a city called Regal Port to kind of restock and refuel the ship.
Where is this? So we're on an airship. We went to Regal Port. Where is
Regal Port's right here.
Yeah. You guys had left Claw, which is here.
Alright.
And then
Claws are right over here. Alright.
Yeah, and then it took you about a week or so, a little less than a week. You could look on the calendar, the Mirodin calendar that I have in Discord, and kind of like you can see the state of events. But eventually, you got to Regal Port, and
we went down into the city, just looking around to see if there was anything we could do. But on our way down the hill from the ship, some guy that's like acting wild comes running up the hill, and he's like, "You guys gotta fucking leave. This city is like 50% doppelgangers or something. You guys gotta go." And we're like, "Oh, shit."
Like, just overrun with doppelganger.
The party took heed to the warning, but they had an assignment given to them by Nicholas Monroe. He's kind of like the Jarl, the mayor, essentially whatever you want to call him, from the city, to eliminate this ogre that had kind of been terrorizing the town for the past couple of weeks by the name of Boris.
And we went, confronted Boris with 2 dwarves.
3.
Oh, was it 3?
Yeah, it was 3.
3 dwarves that were given to us by the Jarl, or whatever, the guy in charge of the city. And we went to go fight Boris. In the process of the fight, it turned out that one of the dwarves was a doppelganger.
Yes.
And had fallen.
You had Mjolnir, you had Alexei, and then you had Zakayev. And Mjolnir was kind of like the overseer of the 2 other dwarves. And Zakayev had been killed by the ogre, and he kind of he kind of shed his skin and turned back into his natural form, which is the doppelganger.
And then the other dwarves
were like, I didn't even expect it.
And the dwarves were like, "Wow, fuck this place." And we didn't even go back to Nicholas Monroe, right?
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah. You guys because Boris was holding basically a treasure trove of gold and various items, and so, I mean, at this point, Rizd was dying, Elowin was dying.
No, I was dead.
No, not at this point. Not at this point. Elo and Rizd were basically dying, and they had both of them had 2 failed saving throws, and it was kind of up to Nick to get in the establishment as fast as he could, but unfortunately, through no fault of Nick's, no, just no fault of Nick. I mean, he's not dumb. He just didn't know.
You overthought it.
You overthought it. Yeah, you overthought it.
And then I died.
And then Ritz, unfortunately, was too late for him. And then by the time Nick had come in, Aurelius had come in and basically looked over everything, got the potions that were inside. Elowin was basically on the cusp of dying until he had basically shoved a health potion down her throat and brought her back immediately. So thankfully, it was only 1 death instead of 2, which would have really bruised the party up.
Yeah.
But
Ritz does pass though.
Ritz did pass.
Ritz Crackers is dead.
And Mjolnir and Alexei, the 2 surviving dwarves, kind of just said,
"Come with us."
Just decided like, hey, we need to get out of Rigoport. Northcrest, by the way, is a bastion of pretty much everybody, and they were like, yeah, you can bring Ritz back. It is definitely possible if we travel to Northcrest, which just so happens that it is
together anyway
on your stop. And Mjolnir and Alexei want to start new lives in deeper Westron, so it's kind of like they help you out, and then you help them out. So currently, where we're standing right now is Mjolnir, Alexei, Tywin, and then you guys are on your way to Northcrest to also see Felix Thibodeau and perhaps bring Ritz back if that's possible.
Sorry, I am back.
You're good. We just finished recap.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So we'll go ahead and bring this SS Galleon to Northcrest because it's been around.
Wait. Basic doesn't know about the letters either. Then.
Oh, forgot about that part.
Yes, my character does not know the alphabet.
Rist and Elowin, prior to coming to Rigoport, received 2 scrolls, each one from their families, basically saying that the barbarians had overrun Oakhart and they were essentially branching out. One went to Frostford. Ritz's family went to Frostford across the Colby Lake, and Elowin's parents kind of attempted to get to Jericho. However, there was some blood spatter on the scroll, and at this point, Elowin doesn't really know exactly what's going on. So, from the character's knowledge, Oakhart has been overrun by barbarians, and that's kind of, I think that's it as far as recap goes.
All right, I'll go ahead and finish up my backstory then while waiting for Cody.
Well, we're starting anyway. I'm about ready to start.
Starting anyway? All
yeah,
right,
we got 3 people here, and then whenever Cody gets back from food, we should be soon.
Yeah, he should be back like any minute, really.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, it takes you about 3 days to get to Northcrest. So finally arriving in the much anticipated metropolis of Northcrest on the 11th day of the 8th month Ogren on an early afternoon of a cloudy Wednesday. The SS Galleon soars over the heads of thousands that live in the residential districts, coming into an airship port on the high side of District 8. You come to a scene of masses of people moving throughout the docks and streets, buildings. You can see some street performers kind of juggling, and shops kind of advertising their goods and services outside their shops.
Fire stuff.
Let's go ahead and move you guys to kind of the Northcrest placard I got.
Oh, so it's a tiered city?
Basically, stretching out as far as you can see rooftops. There's just so many layers to the city.
It's Cody.
Hey, he's back. So one of you gets in here. Should be all good, but so coming into the airship port on the side of District 8, like I said, you see masses of people moving throughout the streets, street performers, various different races, people of various religions kind of spewing their word over their gods and the like. Buildings, small and large, engulf the area, partially kind of obscuring the sunlight, casting shadows all around. I mean, this is, by the pictures, you can tell is a pretty large city. And like the context says, it's probably around 1.5 million estimated. And after about 15 minutes of maneuvering to the 7th pier on the docks, Tywin eventually lays down the brow to the SS Galleon, and you guys are free to walk off. Over these last few days, you guys have been trying your best to keep Ritz in good health and trying to pass the time. Honestly, it's been kind of sorrowful on the SS Galleon, but you know that there is definitely a chance to bring him back, and hopefully Mjolnir can deliver on that promise of at least attempting the act.
Okay.
So as you guys are moored up, the brow comes down, and after Tywin's fiddling with tying it off and getting everything ready, you guys all come up to the flight deck and attempt to leave. And as you guys kind of come down the brow, Tywin being the last one, you see a small dwarven individual, scale mail, the such. He doesn't necessarily look like a guard, but he looks like maybe somebody who would run the docks here. A dock master, yeah, exactly. Here in Northcrest, and he's kind of got like his clipboard and his pen and paper, and he comes up to the brow. And as you guys are kind of walking off, Tywin being the last one, he speaks up towards the man with the line in his hand, and he says, "You more near for the afternoon, or?" And as you guys kind of look behind you, Tywin standing on the brow. Well, I don't expect to be here long. He looks over at you guys. I believe our agreement was that I take you to wherever you'd like to go. Yeah. After Claw, some of you have actually grown on me. Especially Ritz here. I can't come with you. I'm sorry, I must travel back to Sunengard and do whatever it is that I do, and hopefully will put me in an early grave. Send Raven to Sunengard if you need any help with your travels.
Give him a nod.
Okay. Is there anything else I can do you for before I set off?
I don't believe we have much else to ask for, do we?
You took us where we needed.
I'm here. Fuck. I just got in and everything. I can hear everyone now. So Tywin's leaving?
Yes. You knew so from the agreement that he was going to take you anywhere you'd like, but he wasn't traveling with you to like stay with you. He had made that very clear in the dungeons to Ritz.
Fuck, I didn't know that. I would have tried to murder the dude in his sleep. Shit. Yeah, never mind. Fuck.
Take it out of context.
Yeah.
Shit.
Ain't nothing I'm doing. Sorry, like, I'm chaotic evil, but I'm not chaotic dumb. I ain't gonna kill him right here. Nah, there ain't no chance now. Fuck.
So
I mean, if you had enough power.
Yeah, if I had enough power, sure, but I'll get arrested and probably killed.
The dwarf kind of looks at you guys and then back at Tywin and then back at you guys again, and eventually scribbles something down on his scroll, and Tywin bids you guys farewell, pulls up the brow, and essentially gets ready to set off to Sunengard in Winter Rome.
Killjoy bows in a would-be greeting and farewell, I guess.
Okay.
We have Ritz, right? We have his body.
Yes, Aurelius is carrying Ritz's body. Aurelia is there as well, and also Mjolnir and Alexei are with you guys.
Before Tywin goes, now that I know I can't really touch him, I'm gonna ask him where that conjurer is that he was talking about. I think it was him that said it.
No,
right?
it was Mjolnir.
Oh fuck. Well then I'll ask Mjolnir
Okay.
if he's here.
So Tywin does not even shutting the engines off, begins to moor away, or not moor away, but essentially get ready to unmoor from Pier 7. So what are you asking Mjolnir again?
Where that conjurer is he spoke of.
Yes. He says, that conjurer, you mean to bring Ritz back?
Yeah.
Well, we have to make it to District 6 if we want to save your friend. I know a halfling that would have some minute idea of how to bring him back, but I haven't spoken to her in years.
We should probably do that immediately.
I
The
agree.
First thing, I would say that's prioritized. Yeah.
So, as you guys step out onto District 8, various kinds of individuals are selling items, promoting their gods, and such what you would expect from, a major port where people from all over the world come and go. Like, this is obviously an entrance and an exit for people from around Mirodin, Winterhome, Westergron, Allenmore. And as you guys kind of like maneuver your way through the crowds of people, various people trying to come up to you and donate to their churches, and you hear off into the distance a halfling individual prodding about his god and how the world's coming to the end, and then you see another boy kind of trying to sell his goods, services to this half-orc individual, and it's all very crowded and what's the word, like claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
And making your way through what is essentially a maze. Sifting through street preachers, bazaars, slums, you come to a little hole-in-the-wall establishment around, say, 30 or 40 minutes later in the city. And where this building kind of sits is not a very elegant area. For what you can see, this building is kind of half broken. Essentially, it's not very. It looks very old. Mjolnir kind of leading the way, very obviously. And as you guys come up to this very iron wrought door, he begins to knock 3 times. And as the dark door opens inward, only but a few inches, a cold, empty, dark room comes into view, as you can kind of see in the various like candle-lit items that you can see against the dark backdrop of the room. And as you look down, you see a halfling woman, dark, flowing brown hair, kind of pulled to the back, and green apple eyes, clutching the door, small little spectacles as well. She opens the door, she peeks her head out. Yes? Can I? And before you guys can even begin to speak, she says, Mjolnir Kostylev. Now that is a face I have not seen in a long, long time. Come in. And as you guys walk into this basically what is essentially a building with one giant room, and you get like a couple doors that would probably lead to her bedroom and kitchen and what have you. You see kind of pots and pans tossed in neglect, scrolls, notes, scribblings on paper. You can't make out exactly what they say, but you see them nonetheless. A lone candle sits in the corner of the room, kind of illuminating a writing desk and various pictures hanging on the wall. But other than that, there's not much light. And as she goes to fix her papers on the long table, this island counter that sits not directly in the middle of the room, but kind of off to the side, just barely illuminated by the candle. What brings you to Northcrest? And at this time, she's speaking to Mjolnir. And he says, I brought with me some friends from Rigo Port. A friend of theirs died several nights ago. He's clinging on by a thread.
I kind of walk up with the body.
As you walk up with the body, she kind of gestures for you to set him on the island counter, which she begins to kind of nervously pull back some papers and various like unlit candles and her business among the tabletop. Who is this man? Tell me a little bit about him.
I look over to Elowin. You know him better.
And I just kind of nod and I look at the little halfling woman and I say, "This is my friend, Ritz Skip. He was a good friend of mine. We met in our hometown of Oakhart." Does she say, like, I basically I just kind of keep it simple, you know.
Okay. She looks down for but a moment, then looks back up at you, Elowin. Did he worship any gods?
I don't think so. I didn't know that much about him. I knew
It's fine.
things
It's fine.
about him. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
It's fine. She looks back over at Mjolnir. No, it's been a long time since I've tried. And Mjolnir from across the room kind of gives the nod. Essentially, from what you can gather from the atmosphere, these two longtime friends, kind of in your guys' desperation, Mjolnir, he wanted to help you guys, but this is honestly the best you could do short of paying for a resurrection spell. And as she puts Ritz on the table, as he's laying there, she begins taking off his armor and tunic and kind of exposing his bare chest. Or whatever you're wearing. I assumed you were wearing armor. But if you weren't, you just take off your clothes basically and exposing your bare chest. And what can only be described as massive bruising and hemorrhaging across the chest. You can see purples and reds. It's a horrid sight. Her face lets out a soft sigh as her eyebrows begin to raise and then descend back again as she looks over the body. And you can see her place her right hand over your heart. She looks down and mutters some incantation under her breath. And you could see what looks to be yellow divine energy kind of pulsating from her hand ever so lightly, giving off some sort of illumination over the body. And you begin to see this ripple. Essentially, it only happens maybe once or twice, kind of underneath the skin of Ritz, as it kind of seems like it's going over throughout his entire body. This is the deciding factor right here. Let's see. And several moments go by as you guys kind of lay weight in the deciding factor of if Ritz is coming back or not. Nora looks up at you guys and then to Mjolnir. I'm getting no response. Mjolnir looks at you guys.
Shit.
She takes a hand off his body and places it back into one of her gloves. She lets out a sigh and, almost in a sort of fit of frustration, walks into the other room, tossing the glove against the wall. Mjolnir looks at you. Elowin specifically. She's always had trouble bringing back people. She believes Palar has stopped answering her calls. It's been a long time since she's tried this. I'm sorry. I thought I could do something about this.
It's not your fault.
It's fine. Maybe he wasn't meant to be brought back.
Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Maybe she heard something from Paylor, maybe she didn't. But
Who knows?
sort of paying for a resurrection cost, it is what it is.
I go and pick up the body again.
And as you go to kind of put your arms under the body, he goes, wait, it's perfectly fine. You could leave him here with her. She specializes in this sort of thing. She used to be a mortician. She could give him a proper burial in Alan Moore, and she looks at you, Elwyn, again. Or he looks at you, Elwyn, again. You knew him best. You would know probably where he would like to be buried.
Well, I think it's best to leave it up to her. I don't think we should send him to Oakhart, because if we bury him there, it's been taken over by barbarians. That's not a good resting place.
Oakhart's been taken over by barbarians.
That's at least what my my letter had said. It'd been overrun. And yeah, I think we're best leaving him in your friend's hands.
I will pay for the cost. It's the least I can do. You brought me here to Westeron, deep Westeron, and for me and Alexei to start new lives. We can't go back to Rigoport. I will make this my duty.
I extend my hand.
And you go out and you shake it.
Mm-hmm.
And Alexei, kind of from the corner of the room, begins to kind of set his stuff down to the side, and I guess prepare to kind of be in here. Hold on. Mirodin.
Come in here. What? You can stay in here if you want. Oh no, I'm okay. I wouldn't do it unless you.
Sorry about that.
You're fine.
My wife does not understand D&D.
You cannot pause an online game.
I mean, yeah, basically. So
I need to restart Discord to listen along. Fuck.
I had to do it as well. Bye, Dad.
oh shit.
Now we can insult Cody as much as we want.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. Fuck you, Cody.
What a Chad.
You heckin' gosh.
You
Fuck you,
heckin'.
Chad.
Yeah.
All right, so what would you guys like to do? I know, Gildroy, this is kind of your first time being in a city. You weren't in Rigoport very often.
I'm not
as a matter of
used to
fact, at
being in
all.
big cities. Or out in the open in big cities either.
Yeah, you're very out of place. I would say.
I'm
You're
going
not
to
really
also,
sure.
between now and next session, I will have a backstory for you as well.
All right, that's fine.
Kind of further elaborate on the character. But yeah, I am very much in awe of the being out in public in a big place like this.
Yeah. You're not even really sure exactly what you can do. I mean, you know that
No.
you could buy various items, but like, all of you guys, maybe Gildroy with the exception, and probably Aurelia. Like, this city, from what you can see by the pictures, like, this city is huge. It's one of the largest cities in all of Westeron. Like, there's just so much to do. You can pretty much buy anything here. Find people of all races and cultures, and anything that you really need to get done or would need to get done, like, you could probably find somebody to do it here. It's kind of your end all be all for if you guys find yourself in a rut, I guess, is what you can make out of it from right now, based on what you've seen and coming in and everything. Like,
Spotify Premium ran out.
Rip you, bud.
Fuck.
Rip you, bud.
Rip.
So you guys exit the small building, kind of taking note exactly where it is, because you never know. Maybe you have to bring someone else back here for any particular reason. And so what's on your agenda? I mean,
All right, I'm gonna be honest, party members. We are in the biggest city in the world, and I have not a thought in my fucking mind what to do.
I've got an idea.
I don't know where we go next from here.
it's around mid-afternoon, right around 3 o'clock, by the way. So like a lot of the stuff is open.
Let's go to a tavern.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's always the first option.
That's a smart option. Yeah, it's reliable.
How do I say the smart option? I'm gonna go get a drink, but
Yeah.
I
It's
was gonna
disgusting.
say to rent a room for when we come back to it, but
yes, that's a good idea.
Yes, that was
Fuck.
totally on the
It'll-
agenda.
Fuck.
yes,
it was
it'll keep
it
me
was
from
straight to
drinking all night.
alcohol. Yeah.
I mean, when is it not? I mean, it's always a good
Wasted.
idea.
Keep my alcoholism at bay.
Ah shit. Yeah, you gotta do
keep
it in
sobriety at
moderation.
bay.
Fuck moderation.
Okay, so yeah, so going out and kind of venturing off, kind of trying to stay close and not get lost through the patches of individuals of all different ages, sizes, races, cultures, customs. You make your way to small facility that is named somewhere in my notes. Really quick. Come to a small tavern, very rustic, called the X and the Compass. And as you come into it, it is around mid-afternoon. Here we go. That is loud.
By the
Bustling.
way, Nick, I like to think Aurelius is such a fucking alcoholic that what I was saying is like he has to drink to like still drink. Like he knows he's gonna have to have a drink, but he doesn't drink enough to get super fucked up because he's like, oh, I want to recover, but I know my body needs a little.
No, he's not an alcoholic by
Like,
any means, but he
He's a
enjoys his
barbarian.
drink. He enjoys his drink.
Ah, damn it, shit, that would be great.
Yeah, so as you guys walk into this very fine establishment known as the X and the Compass, you see it bustling with various individuals kind of sitting at tables, and then they're kind of setting the stage up for, you know, a small performance. And a half-elven lady comes to you very quickly, almost immediately as you walk in. Some menus, and she begins to kind of prod you guys. Would you like a table or a booth, or perhaps the bar?
I think he wants the bar.
Bar.
Yeah.
Okay. And she kind of turns around and begins walking, and you guys eventually begin to follow. Move you, Aurelius, back over here. She sits you down at a kind of cramped area. She's
Is
able
this
to
supposed be
find...
a map?
Huh?
Is this supposed to be a map?
No.
Are we
no.
real quick? Are we back?
I was-
We're back to full, right? We've had a few days to
No.
recover.
As a matter of fact...
Okay.
As a matter of fact, it's been 3 days. So anybody who's less than full HP regained 3 hit points.
I thought it was your level a day.
Nope.
Well, he changed that.
Oh.
This brings a whole new perspective to health potions and health spells. So
That's how it is in AD&D. 1 point a fucking day.
LON, max your max light load right now. Yeah. And Aurelius, LON, you guys had 9 HP each. Go ahead and gain 3, so that's 10,
Yeah,
12. So you guys would be... So LON is at max HP. However, Aurelius, you're 10 points down.
Just above half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's still like damn. Like,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I need to check. I think I'm just wearing my armor and my swords and then rations, so I don't think I'm definitely not above a light load.
No, you should be fine. You're the strongest, and like
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
really carrying much.
No, it's literally my swords, my rations, and my armor.
He's our healthy boy.
Healthy boy.
Boy.
Yeah. So, like I said, she kind of set you down at the bar, and to each side of you, there's a man or a woman kind of enjoying their drink. Like I said, it's bustling, so you're not really going to find any sort of privacy in here, unfortunately, from what it seems like. And say probably like around 3 to 4 minutes later, you're greeted by a half-orc male from behind the counter who's kind of brushing up on his orders and preparing drinks.
Gilderoy just kind of stares in bewilderment.
He puts an elbow on the table and is about probably 2 or 3 feet away from your face and just kind of looks at you because he's obviously noticed you staring at him, so he is going to stare back as well.
At Gilderoy?
Yes, at Gilderoy. Not really showing sort of any emotion per se. I mean,
Just give
not
it a
any,
look.
not even any aggression, but he's looking at you the same way you're looking at him.
Yeah, just well, yes.
Sarcastically.
Gilderoy just kind of snaps out of it, just kind of turns away, looking at
Bitch.
After about 10 or 15 seconds of this kind of awkward staring, the half-orc is just simply says, "All right, what can I get you?"
Yeah, he stood his ground. Fuck.
I'll have an ale.
What kind of ale? Dark, light?
Dark.
My man.
I'll have the same.
Of course you will. Anybody who gets
Yeah.
light beer around here's, well, I won't say.
Drinkers.
Milk drinkers.
I just tell him I'll have what they're having.
As he begins to turn away, he's got like the kind of the draft handles right there, so he's able to prepare your drinks right there and kind of scrub off the extra
The
foam.
head off
The head, yeah, exactly. And begins to set down 3 beers. And Aurelia at this point is kind of sitting back. I'm not even really sure if she drinks, honestly, so she's just kind of sitting back. And after the half-orc individual brings back your drinks, he goes, "Would you like anything to eat? We have boiled mutton and oat biscuits, tankard of perry. Only 10 copper. It's our special tonight."
I'll take the mutton.
All right. That's
The man's
10
underselling
copper.
you. He's like 10 copper, not a silver. 10 copper.
Can I
Yeah.
give him a silver? I have 2 copper and 6 silver. Like I don't have an in between.
yeah, absolutely. You can give him a silver.
Okay.
but-
Yeah, it's a
okay.
tip. Fuck. Yeah, tip 'em.
That's fine.
It's not a tip though.
Yeah, it's even. So I'll give him 2 copper on top of that. So
Okay, sweet.
Oh
just to kind
shit.
of balance my copper out.
He's
It's like when they say something's like $1.99 instead of $2.
Oh, is it? Okay, I didn't know what was going on. I thought Nick said he didn't he had just too much over. I'm like, fuck it, just give him.
Yeah, he said it was 10 copper.
10 copper.
So
AKA
it's
1
literally a
silver,
but he's just making it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add on the
Oh
2
my
copper as well.
fucking
So
God,
I'm
I
essentially
didn't
giving
even
him 12 copper.
realize.
You idiot.
And so as you kind of throw him the extra copper piece, he goes, "Oh, I appreciate that." And
I give him a nod.
he gets kind of like a wet rag and begins to kind of brush up the bar. He hadn't had much time before he gets to sit down before he could kind of clean it off, but he does the best he can around your drinks and notices your kind act of patronage and wants to do his best around you guys. And who knows, maybe you could throw a little bit more later on. But he's obviously take noted of you guys and wants to serve you guys the best way he can. So he kind of looks around and he says, "Would anybody like anything else?"
Suppose I'll
Yeah, I'll
Uh,
probably take what he's selling for food as well. I'm not gonna drink on an empty stomach, especially with how light the character is. That would fuck. That would fuck you up. That would fucking
Get
suck.
fucked,
Like,
bitch.
you're just trashed when you walk out. Oh, I forgot the food. Yeah.
I forgot to eat.
Yeah. I'll just I'll hand him. Yeah, I only have silver pieces on me too. I'm just gonna hand him 2 silver as well. Fuck.
I hand him a silver and ask for the mutton.
Absolutely.
Whatever. Yes.
That'll be out in about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe less. And he kind of goes back to cleaning off more of the bar, kind of down, like farther along the table, and begins taking other orders. And
So
such.
after the half orc leaves us, Gilderoy kind of sits up a little bit, leans over, looks at his allies. I know we've already considered the option of general resurrection, but I never really been quite practiced at myself. But what about necromancy? I haven't looked into it myself, but
Dark magic, that is.
yes, but quite useful. I hate to talk about home, but parents used to have servants all the time. You know, sometimes they'll just fail one way or another. Mm. And
Still
it
come
goes
Fuck
back
through
is
in
just
he
the
kind
on
of
same-
about?
I forget.
Won't be the same person.
This man's parents got zombies.
Yeah.
Rayleigh kind of speaks up from down the table. I don't know about necromancy, guys. That's yeah, that's. I mean, you're right. That is dark magic. I don't. There would be consequences.
Uh,
I take a good sip.
Gilderoy starts writing in his notes.
I start drinking.
And as you guys contemplate your next move there for a little while, eventually, probably like around 15 minutes later, a performer gets up on stage and begins playing the what's the guitar called? The not the uke, but the
Lute?
lute. Yes, I was thinking of the lute. He's playing a soft song, you know, not.
Well, oh, I thought he was like gonna say like musical instrument. I was just like, oh, sitar. Yeah.
Well, sitar. Yeah. Well, it's a lute, but he's playing like a soft song, just kind of add to the ambience of the tavern. But yeah.
Damn, I don't. Yeah, I'm thinking about like what I want to do essentially. Oh yeah, we need to get the room from him before we get too drunk. Forget. But we need to go to an inn for that, not a fucking. I guess it's the same thing, right?
It's a
Tavern's
tavern.
an inn.
Sometimes it's the same thing. Sometimes it's not.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Looking around, as normal taverns would have inns, sometimes normally it would be a sort of staircase going up from the tavern up into maybe like a second or third floor. And as you kind of look around, you do see kind of to the left of the stage in the other corner of the room, behind some half-elven individuals that are drinking at a table, you do see a staircase kind of go up and then turn to the right a little bit as if going up to a second floor.
Oh, okay. So there's probably rooms here. All right. Well, yeah. Next time he comes around, I'll ask him for a room.
Okay.
Or a couple. Yeah, we're gonna probably need like 2.
A couple minutes goes by as the half-orc eventually comes back. You all enjoying your meals now?
I didn't even know we brought it out. I'm gonna be honest, shit.
Gilderoy kind of just looks up, just kind of like, "Excuse me, what the fuck?" But you know, he just looks down again, back at his food.
I say, yeah, we are. But what would make this better is can we get maybe like 2 rooms for the night?
2 rooms. Second floor or third floor?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Do you guys
matter?
have a preference? Is there any difference to them?
Not really, if you just like to be a little bit higher than the rest. I mean, you have nobody above you, so... I mean, if you're on the second floor, you have the noise from down here and the noise from up there, so... What do you want?
We'll go third floor.
Third floor would
Third
probably be
floor,
best, yeah.
Yeah.
As he kind of takes out, he looks kind of under the counter a little bit. It's about 8 silver a night.
Yeah, I flip him 16 silver. Yeah, 2 rooms.
Flip him
So,
16 silver.
yeah.
Kind of takes it, puts it under the table, and goes back into the back, comes out but a moment later with 2 keys. One says 307, one says 308. He goes, "Here you go. Enjoy your stay."
Gotcha. And I hand one of the keys to Aurelius, I guess.
So, how are you doing these rooms? Who's going to be staying in which?
I bought my own room. I was just expecting you guys to share one. There you go.
There are 4 people here, sir.
Wait, what?
You're gonna have to share with somebody. Aurelia.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so me and Aurelia will take one, and I forget Alex is not on here, so like, I'm like, oh, the party is 4 people, right now. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Or three
How
people.
much?
Yeah.
Real quick. How much gold do you have, Cody? I guess I can ask you in character if you're okay with telling me.
I have 79 gold pieces.
Okay. I'm going to hand both Aurelia and Elowen 300 gold from the treasure room that we found with the ogre.
Okay.
There we go. Donka. Yeah, here I'm buying the fucking in room, and I forget you have all that treasure on you. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
no, I was waiting to split it up.
Yeah, it's all good. I didn't know what we got from it, so.
All right.
Never really asked.
So later in the evening, as you've enjoyed your meals, you've enjoyed, I guess, a couple cups of ale. You guys begin to take your leisure to your rooms, I suppose.
I'm gonna stay up a little longer than everybody else and have a few more drinks.
Yeah, bad day probably. I'd be joining you still, I think.
All right. And later in the evening, the tavern kind of dies down a little bit. Begins to softly, gently rain up on the rooftop. You can kind of hear the click clacking, the tapping on the rooftop as you come to your rooms. Nick said you were staying up for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I was gonna have a few more drinks.
Okay.
Kind of just have idle conversation with whoever I can, unless Elowen is staying a little longer too.
Yeah, I was. And
Then I'll
then
just kind of
yeah.
chit chat.
All right. So we got Elowen, Aurelius, Gildroy. How do you take your time? Would you like to go ahead and head up to your room, check it out, or would you like to stay down in the tavern?
Check out the room.
Okay. Gildroy takes his leave and begins to check up on his room. Gildroy, as you kind of ascend the staircase, you see a couple male individuals come down. One particular male individual kind of has a female half elf wrapped around his arm as he's coming down. People coming in and out. And as you begin to ascend the other staircase to the third floor, it's much more quiet. The muffled sounds of people in the tavern are only ever so softly. So you expect to get a pretty good night's rest. Elowen, Aurelius, as you continue sitting at the bar, the people sitting at the bar, the other people kind of come and go, but mostly kind of dissipate throughout the night. And the performers there begin to pack up and head out. And eventually there's about 20 to 25 people left in the tavern. This is a fairly large tavern too, but it's like 30 feet by 40 feet, if you can picture that. So it looks fairly empty with this amount of people in here. But things throughout the night begin to progress in a very, I guess, slow manner, essentially.
Okay.
Eventually, though, after sitting there for a few hours, probably around 9 to 10 o'clock, there's just enough people in there that the half-orc individual behind the counter begins to have a conversation with you guys, to where you could have a conversation and really nobody else would overhear. He comes over, slaps the rag on the table, and puts an elbow down. And he looks at you, Aurelius. So, you don't look like you're from around here.
No. Not used to big city yet.
Oh yeah? Where are you from?
What was the name of the first town again? Let me see.
Oxford Cross? Oakart?
That's right. The Oxford Cross is where I came from. I came from a small camp outside Oxford Cross. We kind of roved around a little bit.
I've never been there, but it's quaint, I hear.
You don't want to be there.
I don't want to be there. Why is
No,
that?
you don't. Because the city got overrun, and it's a piece of shit.
I mean, we all say that about our hometowns, am I right?
It's not my hometown. It's still a piece of shit.
I have no opinion.
But I just pat really. Yeah. I'm not like trying to diss this fucking like the city easier, but yeah.
Oh, where are you from then?
Oakcart, also a piece of shit. Now. after barbarians overran it, not to say no.
If there's any place where these barbarians haven't run over.
Well, I mean, they're taking over your city right now as I look over to Aurelius, like, as a joke, you know, kinda. I just point to him. Yeah.
He looks back over at
Don't
you,
know about
Aurelius.
that.
So,
Yeah, it's just a joke.
what brings you to Northcrest?
It's just joke.
It's just a joke. Is he asking
Wanderlust.
Aurelius?
Yeah, he's asking Aurelius, like, his business in Northcrest.
Wanderlust. Just kind of want to get away from where I came.
Yeah. Northcrest would be the way to do it. You become a ghost in a city like this. Too many
Yeah.
people.
Lots of people, that's for sure.
Takes a mug down from under the counter, begins wiping it. Any stories you hear at Northcrest yet?
Nah, haven't heard any stories yet. No, we've only been here for the afternoon, really. So since the afternoon, I guess.
Well, I can see you're carrying a couple of short swords there. Not everybody carries weapons around in the city. At least common folk.
I've learned to keep myself protected at all times in this day and age.
Step on some toes in your time, I see, huh?
Been stepped on,
Haven't we all?
pushed around a little bit. So, what's your story? How'd you end up here?
Born here, raised here, never left here. There's just everything in the city. There's no point in leaving.
Fair enough. It does seem to. It's hard to believe that a place this big doesn't have everything.
I guess you do get bored after a while. Winter home seems nice. I could see me settling down, perhaps. I don't want to stay here forever. But this city is what it is, and you just kind of have to live with it after a while. And kind of walks away for a moment and begins cleaning up the rest of the place as they begin to settle in the wee hours of the night to where not very many people are coming and going, and they could actually do some upkeep in the tavern.
It's about as closing as it gets right now.
Essentially, but from what you guys could tell so far, coming in, this place stays open all hours of the night. However, there is some quiet times in the middle of the night for people who are sleeping above. Other than that, the bar stays open 24/7.
About what time is it right now, since Giljoy's kind of sitting in his room alone?
Right now, it's probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and you guys are beginning to feel a great weight in your chest as you become more drowsy.
And wasted.
And wasted, depending on how much you are drinking.
Yeah, I'm going to head to my
Yeah.
room with Aurelius. Yeah.
Probably gonna head out. I'm gonna leave a like a whole silver on the table
Okay.
or on the bar.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And as you guys head up to your rooms, Gilderoy, earlier you had come to your room, just lay a bed, kind of like an island countertop and a mirror, and basically what you would find in an inn room. Fairly
typical.
well kept, clean. Not really any issues currently from your perspective. Same with Elowin and Aurelius. And Elowin and Aurelia are in a room, correct? And then Aurelius and
Yeah.
Gilderoy in the other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gilderoy just kind of runs his fingers across the linens to see how see their quality.
The linen quality is pretty high quality. It's not really silk, but it is a very fine fabric that you can kind of coil under, and it basically just
500 thread count.
almost wraps itself around you in a very comforting way, and it's very soothing as the window kind of cackles with raindrops, and you're very easily able to fall asleep. So
Not home. But this'll do.
So after the very short night, you guys awake roughly around, say, 9 a.m. And then as the sunlight's kind of peering through the window, kind of directly in your guys' faces, a very unfortunate occurrence. Kind of wakes you guys up even more, and you begin to saddle up and get ready for the day. I'll go ahead. I need to use the restroom real quick, so I'll go ahead and leave this time for you guys to kind of decide if you guys go see Felix or whatever you guys want to do. So I will be right back.
Okay.
Knock on your guys' door. Alright, Marcus, get up. Gilderoy, Marcus.
I would have probably already been up, just like sharpening
Yeah,
the sword or something.
I just wanted
Gilderoy
to...
would be up, preparing spells.
Alright, fuck you guys. I just wanted to say Marcus, okay? Like, that's like our meme name now, because I can't stop calling him Aurelius, but I want to call him, like...
Marcus Aurelius?
Like, I can't call him Marcus, because I've seen Aurelius too much and said it too much. But, like, it would be good to separate his name from, like, Alex's character, Aurelia. But now I'm just like, Marcus as
So
a
used
meme.
to it.
Yeah, now I just have Marcus as a meme name.
Let's call him Grimnar.
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 Just call him Grim.
That's some good Narnar.
Narnar.
Just call him Grim.
Now watch me whip. Now watch me Narnar.
God damn it.
Now watch
I'm
me
gonna go slit
whip,
my own throat.
whip. Now watch me now.
Yeah, same dude.
Okay. So what is the plan?
Oh, shit.
Old Gilderoy's got his spells prepared. And is pretty much the passive party member because he has no goals other than to live and survive.
Dude, yeah, you
Be
suck.
not dead.
Get goals, bitch. Oh man.
Eat good, son.
Yeah, I don't know what to be doing here in the city though. I'm gonna be honest. I can say all the shit about Gilderoy I want, but I'm kind of in the same spot.
There's nothing that you guys need to buy. I mean, like, really the only thing on the plate right now as far as Northcrest is Felix Thibodeau. But other than that, you could kind of... it's an option to travel back to Allenmore and figure that whole situation out. But...
Yeah, it's like we got here, and Felix and all. Yeah, we still gotta do that. But...
I honestly,
we should
I have not
do
been able
something
to.
while we're here. We need to get something while we're here.
I still don't know exactly what we're like. I've just been traveling with you guys. I don't know what your guys' mission was.
I just did Ritz have the fucking documents on?
No, you did.
Okay.
You were given the
making sure.
documents.
Yeah, I hand it to Aurelius to look over, and I'm like, why don't you just read it?
Wow, we would have been fucked.
Once we get down to like a common area, Gilderoy starts inquiring about these barbarian raids. Do you know how fast these things travel? How far they're going?
You're inquiring to whom?
Elowin, because I'm assuming Elowin has the most experience with this. Being the
Well,
one
they were fast when they attacked, but might be a better suited question for Aurelius. He was kind of like I know he doesn't raid them, but he knows more about them.
All right. Aurelius.
Yes.
About this barbarian group, do you know how far they're going, by chance?
I have no idea. I got out before the Mind Flayer took over. The morality of the men that I used to know is in question. I have no idea what they could be doing. Their entire personality and demeanor changed when the Mind Flayer showed up. They are not the same person or same people. So I have no idea what their goals could be because they are not the goals of the men that they were before.
Aurelius, as you begin to look over the documents from Cody's orders, essentially what it reads is that there's a man, a dragonborn by the name of Felix Thibodeau, who is essentially it has an assignment for any particular adventurer, or in this case, a couple of people, Ritz and Elowin from Oakheart, who wanted to kind of get out and explore. They wanted to get out of Oakheart because there was nothing there for them. And inside the orders, I'll bring up the quest line.
Now, these
actually,
are military orders, correct?
they are not.
Yeah.
They are not. Okay.
They're not. They were in the military establishment. However, these were a particular set of.
They're
were-
faked though, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
look like they're supposed to be.
Okay.
Active quests. Yeah, so the party has been tasked with fighting a dragonborn by the name of Felix Thibodeau in the city of Northcrest. This journey will indeed be a test for the new adventurers. No other information has been given as to the whereabouts of this dragonborn. However, this is clearly no ordinary assignment. A task that would be shunned by most. The party is looking for any possible way to stumble out of the village of Oakheart. Little do they know, this one opportunity to finally breach the walls of the town will lead them down a very interesting path indeed. So, spanning through the various kind of sheets within the orders, you come to a small section which explains the first district in Northcrest. And the first district would be up here. It'd be kind of like this area, this upper area, and then the districts
Oh,
would kind of flow down.
We might need like a pass or something to get up that high. I'm guessing it gets better, like you said, as the levels go up. It gets higher class probably. So, yeah, if he's all the way up there, then fuck. It's gonna take a little bit.
What is your goal to talk to him though? Like, why are you? Who sent you to talk to him? Why do you need to talk to him?
Not
Is
a
it
lot has
also-
been given about him, but when we joined the military, there was we had these are the kind of the documents I got from one of the individuals. The only problem was, at the time I had thought the document was forged, but we found that same guy dead the next day, and then after that, when we got attacked in Oxford Cross, the assassin that was trying to kill us had not only me and Ritz's name on the list, but also Felix's. So whatever's been going on that's kind of weird with, you know, the barbarians and from what you guys said, the Mind Flayer is what it's called, and yeah, the assassin attacking us with the weird A, which, you know, we think it could be tied to that. What was his name? Like Agroth guy or something?
Algaroth.
Algaroth, or yeah.
Algaroth was the name that you had seen on the obelisk in the forest
Yeah.
of, south of Claw.
Yeah, all of that might be, you know, Felix might be able to tell us more. So,
Okay, well, that seems about our best bet then. Also considering the random bounties that showed up on our heads.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, he'd probably give you some answers. So,
Well, that's
I
our only
think
option.
it's-
Even if he doesn't have the answers we need, we don't really have many other leads. So
yeah. I mean, we're here, so we should. I mean, I think there's something we should still do some things first before we go to him and visit him and everything.
I agree. I think we need to. There's not really much supplies we need to stock up on. We have food now, but I do agree we should not just go in there. We should find out as much as we can.
Maybe we should ask around how we get up there first. If we do, like, imagine
Which district
this,
is he
right?
in again?
District 1.
Okay, so he's like top tier essentially.
Okay, so imagine something like this. We go around the city and we spend all our gold. We buy all this equipment, and then we learn that, like, I don't know, you need 200 gold to pay the guards or something to get in that higher level. Again, I don't
You're
think that
wanting to
higher
find info.
level's just open to anyone. Yeah, so we should try to find some info about it before we go willy-nilly with our money.
I agree.
Aurelia kind of speaks up as you guys are contemplating this whole plan. She goes, "Guys, maybe we should probably, buy med kits, medical supplies,
That's
so
not
we
a
don't
bad
have
idea.
another risk situation."
Yeah,
That's
we keep
not a
trying
bad
to
idea.
use tourniquets, basically. It's not working. Yeah. We need
Perhaps
to-
an apothecary
Well,
nearby may
Tourniquets are
aid.
just a part of the process.
Well, no, I get that. I'm just saying, like, that's
No, I know that's
we've been using like makeshift,
Yes.
like tourniquets where it could just be like, actual.
yes.
Yeah,
We
it's
should
like
probably
all-
get some medical kits.
Yeah. Who's our medical? Aurelia knows the most about that kind of stuff.
Aurelia does know the most, and she kind of, as you bring that up, she just gestures. I'll go buy some. It's totally fine. God, how are we gonna find each other?
We should definitely
We
shouldn't
should
split off
probably
alone. We don't
just
know
go
what to
together.
expect.
Yeah.
Oh, that's we could do that as well. I just didn't know what anybody else had to do. If we need to pick up anything else.
Oof.
So
I mean, if we do need to go around,
I wouldn't mind taking a look at what weapons they have in a big city like this.
again, I mean, sure, that's fine. But like, if Aurelia does go off by herself, let's say, maybe let's have Gildray go with her or something, and then me and you should go ask around first. If we find out what's up with that upper layer,
Do we just want to meet back at the tavern then?
yes, both groups will meet back at the tavern. But how about me and you go ask around like we said we were gonna
yes,
do?
I agree.
And
I agree.
then we go to the
Absolutely.
weapon shop, and then we come back to the
Yes.
tavern with
That sounds
Gildray and Aurelia. Yeah.
And Aurelia kind of speaks up. Elwyn, you have that ring of tracking. Could I have it? That way, if some reason were to pop up when we would get split for a long period of time, you would be able to find us.
Yeah, for sure. So wait, it's just one ring? Or...
Yeah, it's just a ring.
Okay.
It's just a ring, and you know its location at all times.
So,
Okay, so even though I give it to her,
You are attuned to it, so you would know
I'm
the.
attuned to it. All right,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So she
Yeah, I
takes
give
it and she puts it in her pocket.
Oh, I forgot you had that. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Really expensive.
Dude,
magical
is it
tracking
just, like,
device.
Something where like you like in your mind you just like, I kind of imagine it like
It's a
so you-
telepathic GPS. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I was gonna say like, does it do the whole effect where, because there's two ways, right? There's like the Harry Potter thing where like they, like, Harry would see a vision and then it would like have him start like moving in a point of view like a camera all the way till it reaches Voldemort. Or is it just like instantly knowing where the person is?
So essentially, what happens? So you take it off and you give it to her, and what happens is it's kind of like scrying in a way, where you can kind of like dwell deep in your mind and think of the ring, and you kind of get like an overhead view a little bit of the location of where it's at, and you can kind of inside your mind get a general kind of like Google Street Maps, where you can kind of like look around just a little bit, and you know essentially where it is. If it's on a person, you know it's in their pocket. It would actually show the
Like
person.
general direction.
Okay.
So
Okay. I was just making sure. I was like, is it like, do you know where the person is instantly, or like it walks you through the streets kind of to that person, or like
it's like a scry.
it
It's like a
thing
scry
where-
ability to where you're instantly teleported in your mind. The image in your mind takes you to the ring.
gotcha. I'll be right back. Someone's knocking on my door.
All right. And as you guys kind of go to the first general store you see, it's Aurelia and who else? Was it
Elwyn.
Gildray.
Aurelia and
Yeah. Oh, Aurelia and Gildray. All right, then.
Yes.
I thought it was
Aurelia and Gildroy make their way to the closest general store, which is not very far in this whole town. In this kind of walking down the streets where you guys are, and you've probably made it like around a half a mile from the tavern. And then Aurelius and Elwyn You said you wanted to go ahead and look at weapons, right?
I wanted to, yes, but we're also going to go around and try and find out where to go to get into the higher districts.
Okay.
So information gathering essentially.
Okay. How do you inquire? Do you ask somebody, or do you venture
just
there?
Kind of ask around, maybe find a guard or something that could tell us.
Okay. Seeing a particular male individual across the street, kind of walking opposite ways, you decide to come upon this individual and kind of inquire about paths in the city and essentially directions in the districts and everything. So, what exactly do you say to him?
We need to find somebody that is currently resides in District 1. Was it correct?
District 1. Ha! Oh, who you're trying to find in District 1?
I don't remember the guy's name.
It's Felix.
Felix is his first name.
Well,
Felix.
I don't know who that is, but the city's a maze. You need to find a particular way to get up there. Essentially, if you follow the street down, you take the next right at the T-way intersection. You follow the mountain up and around. There should be one main pathway. It's not that hard. You can make it up there probably in about 45 minutes.
All right, I'm back.
Awesome.
What did the guy just say to you?
He
No
said
problem.
that you just go up there. You just walk up there. There's no kind of he didn't say there's a fee or anything to go up there. We just kind of go.
Oh shit! I would have expected, but hey, that's good news. So.
Is there anything else I can help you with? You look new to the city. I haven't seen any of your kind before. Not everybody carries weapons either.
Just kind of. We're fairly new. Yes, we're just kind of trying to, like I said, find this person.
Well, if you excuse me, I have to go. But yes, you just follow this down to the T-way, take a right, and you should be able to follow that path up as best you can. The city's a maze. I promise you. It's very hard, but eventually, especially for somebody new, you will eventually make it there. If you just keep asking around, you should be fine.
Okay, I appreciate the help.
All right, sounds good.
And Aurelia,
Let's go get you some weapons, boyo.
and Gilderoy make your way to the general store and purchase any the med kits and the likes of
Medical
such
supplies.
medical supplies. This place has everything, so if there's anything specific you're trying to find, more than likely they will probably have it, unless it's very exotic.
Gilderoy just kind of, it just squanders around looking for any scrolls that might be present, or potions for healing.
Okay. And you said any scrolls or potions?
Yes. Anything that might have magical healing qualities, so that way we don't have to rely on the most basic stuff.
Okay. Is there anything specific you're looking for?
It's really like cure light wounds or anything like that. I mean, really, that's kind of what the effect is. What I'm looking for is so.
Okay. You find various scrolls and potions of healing, 1 and 1, 2s, and maybe even a couple 3s, depending on how hard you look. You find a couple cure light wounds, moderate wounds. Cure critical wounds, serious wounds. I mean, this place pretty much has the lot.
I poke Aurelia and ask, how many gold pieces do you have on you at the moment?
At the moment, she begins to look in her sack. She has I have 120 gold, so if there's anything you need, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to spend it on. I have my weapons and I have my armor, so.
Gilderoy thumbs through, just kind of, goes through all the healing potions and whatnot, looks at the cure light wounds, and waves down whatever tender, whether it be like a cashier, store tender of some sort.
Yeah. You're trying to get them to come over to you?
Yes.
Okay. And you see this kind of human male kind of down the aisle, kind of stocking the shelf with various vials and flasks and stuff like that. And as you kind of wave over, he looks at you and comes over with kind of a handful of vials. He's like, yes, what can I help you with?
I'd like to inquire about these potions here. How much do these ones cost as I point towards the cure light wounds?
Cure light wounds. That's. I think that 20 gold pieces, I believe. I'd have to check, but.
All right. And what about the cure moderate?
Probably like around 30, 45. Like I said, I do have to check.
Okay, I'll be right here. Killjoy just kind of stands there, stroking his imaginary beard.
I like how she said, in her accent, I would have to check, and Vesa goes, oh, okay. He picked it up a little. That was great.
He goes back, and about a few months later comes back.
Few months.
Few moments later comes back. My bad.
It's okay.
My bad.
Oh, fuck this guy.
9 months later.
Hello.
Yeah.
What are
So
you still doing in my shop?
They-
I thought you left.
only but a few moments later, he put away his flasks and vials for now. But as he comes back with kind of the book that has the listed prices and stuff, he goes, "Yes, cure light wounds. It's 15 gold pieces, and the cure moderate is 35."
35. Let's see here.
Really, it kind of looks over you. I mean, I could buy whatever you want. It's up to you. I mean, I'm gonna get cure light wounds and cure moderate wounds, but it's
I should probably, if we were to be, what was the term? Sharing is out. I'm not gonna go about the little anecdotes, the sayings. Probably should get a
How much
potion
gold
for
do you
each.
have? How much gold do you have, Gilderoy?
Gilderoy just kind of looks down in shame.
It's okay, man. I got you. I got you.
He opens up the sack and that he has for his coin purse and shows it's only 5 gold pieces in there with 5 silver pieces.
I'm gonna turn this off first.
Aurelia comes down, hands you about 75 gold pieces. She says, "Go here, right here. Purchase the healing scrolls or potions or whatever you want to get, and I'm gonna go look over here and see what I can find as far as medical supplies can go. I trust you. I trust you with purchasing, and I'll probably buy, like, what do you say, 3 or 4 medkits?
It depends upon how big they are.
This
But
is
I suppose
true.
this will work.
This is true.
I'm not exactly fancied in the healing arts, but
Okay.
I'll leave that to you.
See, Alex, you don't make it this session, you have no control over your gold now.
This is true.
So I have how much
Money
gold now?
Gone.
So add 75 gold pieces.
At 75. All right then.
As she's going to-
15.
She's gonna buy a few. I'm writing down exactly what she buys.
Also, what was I gonna say? Fuck, I don't remember now.
And then
Jackson.
the
Man.
the medkits only weigh about a pound, and they're not super huge. I mean, they're like regular medkits. So she's gonna go ahead and buy. What do you guys think? 2, 3?
I'd say
I
three's not a
think-
bad idea.
I
Yeah,
think they each have
fair.
multiple uses.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give him 1, 3 uses. So she buy 2.
Yeah.
That should last a hot minute.
I don't know with our fucking casualty rate. Fuck.
Gilderoy purchases 4 cure light wounds potion.
Okay. Aurelius, you can go ahead and search for any kind of weapons you want, man. There's you come to a very fine establishment kind of in the western part of the city that's very, very largely labeled weapons and armor, and it's a big facility that you can find pretty much anything there. Was there any particular thing you were looking for, though?
I wanted to buy some javelins so I had some kind of ranged little throwing spears, essentially.
Okay. And as you make your way to the exotic section, they of course have various different javelins of various lengths. That's an exotic weapon, right, Jeff? Or no?
No.
No,
The
I don't think
martial.
so.
Marshall? Oh, okay, my bad.
Should be simpler, Marshall. Yeah.
Oh no,
But just so
it is
you're
a
aware,
simple.
Javelins are worse at melee.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's simple. Yeah.
Yeah, it is simple. My bad.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
I'm just looking for a good throwing like something.
Something better than a
Yeah,
spear?
it's just a javelin. It's like something you
Well,
just.
spears aren't actually made for throwing.
Yeah.
Cure Light
Okay.
Wounds potions heal a D8, correct?
The D8 plus 1.
Plus
The
one.
javelins are made for throwing, but they do worse in melee.
Yeah, you're not gonna toss a spear. I'll
It's
be right
one.
back,
It's
you can-
it's 1d8 plus 1 point per caster level. So with a maximum of plus 5. So yeah. A javelin would be about 1 gold piece. Or sorry, about 2 gold pieces.
So you said the javelin was 1d8.
No, sorry. The javelin for medium is 1d6. The cure light wounds is 1d8 plus
Oh,
1
you were
cast
talking about
level.
that. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I kind of
Fine.
ran those together, so
You add strength to damage?
I would assume so. Say
Yeah.
yes.
How many was it for?
It's 2 gold pieces each, dealing 1d6 damage. So.
But they should be. I should be able to retrieve them to some extent.
Oh,
unless
yeah,
I'm throwing
yeah.
them at a heavily armored target.
They're
So.
pretty
Yeah.
sturdy.
I'll
They're
get
not-
6 of them, and do they come with like a pouch to hold them in?
They do not. This is essentially just racks of javelins.
Okay, can I get like a?
They're like 4 feet long, by the way.
Yeah.
I know, but they usually can get like a sack or something to hold them in to put it on your back.
Each javelin weighs about 2 pounds, and they have a sort of like add-on to like a backpack where you can tie around and hold the javelins, and that goes for around 5 gold pieces.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just buy 4 javelins and then that. You said they were 2 gold pieces each?
Yeah, so 13 gold in total for the
5,
3
13,
javelins
yeah.
and the sack to hold the javelins.
Yep.
It comes
Wait,
with
wait,
free
wait.
molly straps.
It would be 12 gold. No, it would be 8 gold for the.
2 or yeah.
Oh
so
wait, you
2
said
for,
you said total. Okay, because you
Yes.
said for the javelins. I was just buying 4 javelin. Okay, you threw me off. You're good. You're good.
yeah.
So.
I didn't want to have another whole how much gold do we have fiasco like we did in the first
No,
session.
no, you're fine.
That's just because you didn't tell us.
No, I did. You guys got confused, or it was Cody that got confused.
I started off with 0 gold, so I didn't have anything to worry about.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of up
Alright.
to Elwyn at this point because you guys have kind of.
Hang on.
Yes,
Quick,
go
I do
ahead,
have
go
another
ahead.
question.
I'm back
Let me see
now.
if that's even an item because it shows it in the gladiator class, but I don't know if it's a homebrew item or not. So give me 1 moment.
All right.
Uh,
Elwyn, it's kind of up to you because you guys have basically broke apart from one another, and it's essentially your job to find Aurelia and Gilderoy. Aurelius is kind of picking out some javelins over in the simple weapons corner of the shop, and I don't know if there's anything that you're getting or what you're doing exactly. So
Yeah, I'm gonna be like.
this place has everything, so anything you can
I
find.
just kind of tell Aurelius like, maybe I should just save my gold. I mean, there are times, of course, where I won't be able to do much outside of it, but for the most part, I'm in. I would be fighting our enemies, not with a weapon. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea if you don't have a use for any weapons at the moment. Hold on to them. I'm just trying to give me some flexibility in combat.
Yeah, I'll just be waiting for you, so we can go back to the tavern.
Okay.
I mean, out of character, it's super good to have a weapon like as a backup, but I don't think I need to like upgrade it. Is what I was gonna say. Like
Okay.
get to plussing it
Yeah.
because
Yeah, no.
Not at the
I
moment, I
Would,
would
I would
say.
wait for magic items then.
main
And-
damage is coming from that spider form, and that's what I use most of the time anyway to battle. But it's good for like when I can't go into that form for whatever reason, like it's too narrow of a dungeon, or maybe like it's in public or something. So
And
Right.
I would save a lot of your money for magical items for the future.
me
So
too.
you could buff
Yeah.
yourself in your spider form later.
Yeah. I mean, even in character, you could think about that and just be like, yeah, I don't need to that much.
Do you think they would have a spiked chain? It's an exotic weapon.
Ooh, we're playing D&D right now.
Ryan.
Welcome to the stream.
Yes. Sorry. I just meet people who are not playing.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
As you walk over to the exotic section, kind of fiddling about the weapons, most of which you've never even seen whatsoever, even with the barbarian tribes. Any sort of like handmade sort of mutation of like a regular weapon that the barbarians might have picked up and kind of maybe modeled after. These weapons are essentially they're not really like special or anything, but they're just kind of like weird. Yeah. Obviously coming from perhaps maybe a different culture, but going down the line.
Special training.
Yeah. Essentially, you have this image in your mind of like you said a spiked flail.
A spiked chain is what it's called.
Spiked chain.
It's a weapon that it's a ranged weapon almost, because I can strike people from 10 feet away, but I can also attempt to trip them and disarm them.
Gotcha. That's what Anbin had, right, at the beginning.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am
Spiked
actually
chain.
so even though it's an exotic weapon, I am proficient in specifically a spiked chain. That's just an item that was added into proficiencies. So
Yeah.
I can't use it without any minus or without any kind of like disadvantage or anything for using a weapon I'm not proficient in.
That's fine. Yeah. Going down the line, kind of sifting through, looking over the whole rack of weapons, you do eventually find a spiked chain. 30 gold would be a very, I think, reasonable number for a shop in the city.
Fine. Yeah, it's labeled as 25 on here, so that's not bad.
You know, I mean, you are in the city, so things are kind of
Yeah,
going to be inflated just a tad
Inflated.
bit.
Mhm.
Well, I
So-
mean, in sessions anyway, it's not it's not good to make
To
a
go exact,
story
it's good to
where
have
like
everything.
yeah, you don't make a
Yeah.
world where the prices are all just fucking static.
Exactly.
The supply and demand and
So I'm gonna buy that.
Okay.
In fact, I would almost say just to point it out there, all prices like those prices would always vary. They're just up or down. That's just
Yeah.
like a base like ideal. Yeah.
Okay.
like if I was a DM, I would like roll dice to modify prices.
Yeah,
Shit.
me too. Something like that. Well, not just that, but I'd also factor in where they are. So like Ryan already knows Northcrest. He was talking about how the city's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce's would be more in the city because there's a higher demand.
Yep.
Gildroy and Aurelia, as you step out from the goods store, did you want to like do anything else in there? First off,
Probably restock on rations.
okay.
So how much would that cost me for like I guess a week worth?
Aurelius, do you remember what I told you for a week's worth of rations? I think it was like
I don't remember the price.
some
no.
silver. We'll go ahead and say 8 silver pieces for the week.
8 silver pieces.
Yeah, I don't want to search. We'll just go ahead and say 8 silver pieces. That's fair. It was somewhere around there what I told Aurelius.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was around that. So.
So you purchase your rations and you kind of get ready to head out and bid the cashier farewell. As you step out into the city streets, the people going back and forth, various newsboys are kind of handing out newspapers to everybody because it's kind of like that's the way essentially news is distributed in the city is they basically just hand out newspapers, and it's not every day that they print them, probably like weekly. But as you kind of come up to this one halfling individual, very young halfling, probably like around 13 or 14, he's handing out newspapers and he's just kind of explaining what's going on. And he mentioned something about that you can kind of hear off to the side. He mentioned something about Alan Moore and the barbarians, and it kind of pricks your interests for a moment. So.
This is me and Aurelia walking around the streets, correct?
This is you and Aurelia, and your character knowledge would know that barbarians were kind of overtaking cities in Alan Moore.
Gildroy decides to approach and just tries to get an ear in on what this boy is saying.
All right, as you move closer, like I said, he's distributing out newspapers, and eventually you come close enough to where he hands one out to you, and he's just like says something along the lines of, he's talking very, very quickly, so before you can kind of comprehend a whole sentence, he manages to get out the words Alan Moore and barbarians and Jericho, war, essentially. And as you take the newspaper from him, the headline reads, Jericho has declared war on Alan Moore. And a picture kind of taking up about a quarter of the page. It's kind of like the Harry Potter pictures where like it's kind of moving a little bit.
Yeah.
You see ships taking in refugees from the sea, kind of off the coast of Alan Moore.
Gilderoy decides to stuff the paper into his little one of his belt pouches and decides to head off towards one of the inns, or the inn that he was at, I guess.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking at skills real quick.
Oh, you're good. I got shit I
Alright.
gotta take care of for right now.
So, Gilderoy and Aurelia make their way back to the tavern inn.
I was going to also, I wanted to stop by like a doctor or something, see if he can patch us up to get us to full health.
I'm good, but you need. Yeah.
I'm still down 10 hit points, so.
Okay, well, you knew that they were gonna go buy health scrolls and stuff like that, so you could go see a doctor and pay, or you could wait till Gilderoy and Aurelia come back. It's up to you.
Yeah, I guess. But this way we wouldn't have to use our equipment, I guess, right now. We could hold it.
Yeah.
I always see how much it would cost me.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. The first medical facility that you can see, although not very common, from what you've seen so far, this is the first one you've come across.
Mm-hmm.
And as you walk into this very clean kind of stone building, much of the buildings are made of, of course, oak wood. But this one particularly is a stone establishment. And as you walk into the stone floor, various patients are kind of sitting, basically like a waiting room. And you come up to the counter and inquire about an appointment with a specialist. And the elven lady behind the counter mumbles something along the lines of, you need basically an appointment and a 3 days notice, 48 hours actually at the minimum, to set up an appointment with a Northcrest doctor. They don't take people in just off the streets.
Whoops.
Do you know anywhere that does walk in?
Do you know anywhere that could take a walk in? I just need some wounds patched up.
They sell scrolls in the general store in the facilities down the street, but I'm sorry, our doctors are too busy right now. They're seeing patients.
Okay. I will
Damn,
go then.
ain't that some shit, where they recommend you go take magic before you come to the doctor?
Sorry, have you got health insurance?
Yeah. We got
Well,
magic,
basically-
but we ain't got, yeah.
It's about
You ain't
speed
got health
at that
insurance.
point. It's like, if you need it now, that's the better choice.
Yeah.
But it is. It's like so fucking expensive because of that. Yeah.
Okay. I will go back to the party then.
Okay. So for the time being, you guys want to meet up at the tavern?
Yep.
Okay. Around 2 hours goes by. It's probably getting into the late afternoon before you come together at the X and Compass again. As you guys kind of meet up, Aurelia gives you, Aurelius, and Elowin a potion of cure light wounds.
I'm
Gotcha.
going
she bought a
to
few.
drink that immediately.
Okay. Go ahead
So I
and
get back up to full strength.
Wait, did Aurelia get any of the gold from?
Yeah, I gave her some.
yes.
Yeah,
I gave
I'm
everybody
making
involved
sure,
in the fight.
Ryan recorded it.
Yeah,
down.
I did.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll 1d8. Yeah.
All right. Equipment.
Ah,
Is it good?
dose.
No.
Got it.
Go ahead and add 2 more to that, because the caster who created the potion, I
Okay,
feel
that's
like that
not-
would
that's not
dwell
bad.
into.
You already know. You already know, Brent.
Okay, a little better. Did we get a? Did we heal one from last night's sleep?
Yes.
Okay, so, oops, there we go.
Elowen, would you like to go ahead and roll?
I'm already full, so I'm not drinking.
Yeah, I was just
the
drinking it.
potion.
Oh, that is correct. That's correct. My bad.
Yeah.
I noticed that you were low, but yeah, 3. On your way to Northcrest, you had fully healed. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your HP now, Nick?
17.
Fiddling with this
Okay.
thing.
So eventually downing the potion, or the cure light wounds. Really, the only thing left on the table right now is to go see Felix and attempt to get some sort of modicum of information in of, I guess,
What the hell is going on?
reason. Yeah, exactly. It's either that or really, there's nothing really else on the table right now, unless you guys can think of something.
Giljoy kind of perks up real quick and starts ruffling through that belt pouch of his and hands. Doesn't really hand it to anybody in particular, but just kind of shows the newspaper heading. What was the heading again? It was
Gilderoy begins to take out this kind of rolled up newspaper from his bill pouch. And who do you hand it to again?
I just kind of
Show the party?
ask everybody to, just show the party in general. Just open it up towards them.
And as he
headline.
hands this out, immediately the first words you see in big black letters is Jericho declares war on Alanmore. And the picture, like I had described, is various Jericonian ships taking in basically refugees from the sea that are kind of trying to migrate over to Jericho from the wars that are going on in Alanmore.
Okay. Is there anybody else currently in the? Is this a world map or is this just a?
This is Northcrest map that you're looking at.
No. I sorry. I pulled up the map of Mirodin.
map
Like, is this
we
the
have.
entire world?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the whole world. Gotcha.
Yes.
All right.
It's the known world.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
is this the only war we know of that's going on right now? Like the only official war between continents, or is anybody else kind of like fighting each other?
As far as you know, continent to continent, this is pretty much the biggest
is it.
war that it is kind of currently going down. Any sort of minor war would, I mean,
It's just skirmishes between lords at that point.
yeah, essentially. There's nothing really in the headlines of the news as far as wars go until now.
Okay.
It's important world news right there.
Yeah, it is. I wanted to look at a map, my world map, because fucking hell.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I gotta think a little now.
Okay.
So wait, Jericho and Alanmore are at.
Yeah.
So, alright, fuck. So there's Alanmore. Alright. And where's fuck Jericho? Oh, so that's kind of what's going on, is people raiding from Jericho?
No, people from Jericho were picking up refugees that were in that like the water body that's in between
Yeah.
Jericho and Alamore. They were picking up refugees trying to escape. So they were helping people essentially.
Yeah. Damn, that is some big territories fighting. Alright, yeah, shit. So, we could find out more about this, or we could continue on our mission with Felix here. What do you guys think?
I think that's fair. I think we should continue with trying to find. Felix is literally our only as to what is going on with us. So
Yeah, we should probably figure that out first. Alright. Alright, so the guy just said we can pretty much go in there.
You see, we just gotta find our way up.
Yeah, we just gotta find our way up. So, now that we're all back here, you guys just want to head there, or if it's like, what time of day is it? It's not too.
Say it's around 1:30 in the afternoon. It's kind of early afternoon.
Then, okay, so we walked around for a bit. Yeah, what do you guys think?
Seems to be the best course.
Yeah,
Alright.
I think we're just gonna walk up there.
Alright.
Wherever we can.
Yep. So, as you make your way up the kind of small mountain, essentially, I'll bring you back over to all players. Cody.
Yep.
As you make your way up the small mountain, kind of bustling through various territories and people and shops, looking over the orders, they give you a very loose set of directions in the bag, kind of, like take a left at this red bricked elven magic store and take a right at Bard's Rock, which is essentially, when you get to it, Bard's Rock is a stage that it's outside, kind of like an amphitheater, but a very, very small scale on the street that street performers normally play. And as you kind of walk by, you see a street performer kind of playing the lute to probably like a crowd of 8 to 10 people. And eventually the orders, about 45 minutes to an hour later, bring you to a set of stone steps that kind of lead up to this tower. The tower being, of course, the one you see in the picture, and atop of it stands a human male kind of pointing a sword into the ground, draped in robes, with a crown on top of his, some sort of crown, what looks like on top of his head. It's kind of hard to see from right below, but as you begin the ascension up these stone steps, you come about 20 yards from the iron-wrought double doors to the tower, before 2 guards in full plate armor, standing around 7 feet tall, take just a couple steps towards you as to kind of like a warning.
And what might be the issue here?
And as they just continue standing there looking at you, the iron doors open just ajar, and what looks like an elven woman steps out, adorned in a full set of purple and blue robes and blonde hair peeking out from the sides of the
Oh
hood.
shit, my mic was mute. I was asking the guards what was wrong.
The guards begin to look her way and fall back to their original posts, kind of taking a step or two back. And she begins her descent towards you guys. She looks at you, Elowen, and holds out her hand.
Yeah, I give her my hand. What? I'm just kind of like,
I assume there's a reason why you're here.
yeah, we're looking for a dragonborn that's in this level of the city.
Ah, yes, the papers. I understand. I would like them.
How do you know about that?
You came here for a reason. If the reason I think you are here is the reason that you are here,
Yeah, but like, how did you already know and everything that I had papers and all this stuff?
why else would you be here?
Well, I know that's the reason I'm here. I'm just,
Why would you think that that's the reason why I'm here?
yeah. Why would you think that? Like, why would you already know? Is what I'm saying. I've never met you.
Maybe she's a helper of Felix. Like,
This is-
Well, I that's fine if she says that, but like,
What is she wearing again?
Purple and blue robes, like a full set. It's kind of like almost kind of draping along behind her.
I
She turns to you.
suppose I c-
She turns to you,
I could
Elwyn.
do-
Go ahead, Gilroy.
I suppose I could use like a knowledge local check on this,
I mean,
or like to tell like what her like robes mean basically.
I mean, her robes are just purple and blue. I
Just
mean,
purple and blue, nothing I can really
No
decipher.
significance.
I mean, they're really elegant. They're not cheap by any means. They look like a nice set of robes
Yeah.
that maybe, not every person could buy. Essentially, like, and she
everybody
came.
can
What
buy
he
it,
was
yes.
getting at it was essentially like, yeah, just like are they?
I was gonna say like not like a status symbol, but just kind of like, is it indicative of like a profession or something like that? Like why?
Oh.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Like,
roll.
do they-
Go ahead and roll.
Roll. All right, then I'll go ahead and just put in a flat roll. All right. Ooh,
Alright.
that's a flat roll.
With a 19.
And
With a 19, do you have any bonuses to that?
If we're talking about intelligence, I mean that's gonna be a +2, and then is depending upon what knowledge.
That's-
Like if we're
That's fine. That's fine.
all right.
With a flat 19, you're able to kind of distinguish that she is more than likely probably an advisor for a high-ranking individual. Like she's an advisor to somebody.
Who's important?
Yeah.
Probably.
You're able
Um,
to tell that from her robes. Like,
Yes.
Yes, advisors would wear these robes.
Okay.
It's like the standard uniform almost.
Gilderoy, takes a step forward, and to whom do we owe the pleasure?
Well, that depends. If you're here for the person that I think you are here for, then you already know. But, however, I can't know for sure till I know you have the set of orders. Otherwise, you could have just heard a story and came here out of whim.
Gilderoy just kind of looks expectantly at
You
Elwyn.
know what? She's just like on the fucking money. Like I've dealt,
I
I've
don't
dealt
think
with
you
too
really have a
much.
choice
I
at
don't
this
care.
point.
I just hand her the orders. I don't even give a fuck. If you're gonna screw us over, lady, you would have already probably done it. Like Christ.
Screw you over.
Yeah.
This is the Jarl's Tower.
That's quite vulgar, but okay.
Nobody who's born native to the city comes this high up in District 1. You very obviously came from out of the city. And you know, or I should say you don't know, to not come up this way. So obviously there is a reason why you are here.
Yeah. I get that. We come from two different worlds.
She kind of flips through the orders and closes them and clutches them to her side. Turns around and begins walking back to the iron doors.
Oh shit! Wait.
Yeah.
She just takes the shit and leaves.
Did she not say any? Like she's just walking away.
I'm gonna follow her.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking walk behind and like.
Yeah,
hope
Gilderoy
I'm gonna
tails.
stop.
As you guys begin to ascend the stone staircase, the guards at either end not moving a muscle. And as you guys come into the set of double stone doors, a cathedral-like room comes into view as you step out of the sort of, I guess, early afternoon now, Northcrest air into a colder environment. This room, approximately 30 feet wide and probably like around 50 to 70 feet long. So it's essentially one big cathedral-like corridor. Shelves along the walls encasing various Westrian artifacts of history, from swords to magic items, clothes, and scrolls, illuminated in its cases by torches hanging above it on the wall, kind of almost as if singling it out on the wall. Looking up, the ceiling covered in carvings and artwork dating back to the Second Age, at least 3,000 years ago. Markings, visualizations of wars, celebrations, landscapes, all in perfect color. The woman leads you down the stone corridor until you come to a set of double doors, another set of double doors. These ones kind of what look like etched into the wall, almost as if very what's the word I'm looking for, like the frame looks carved into the wall, so it's very flush with the wall. Is what I'm trying to say.
I was gonna say elegant. I don't know.
Yeah, no. They're flush with the wall, so it looks like one solid wall, but the doors they're not like prodding out or.
Yeah.
And as she comes to it, she turns around
Studded.
to you guys, Aurelius, Elowin, Gilderoy, and Aurelia. 32nd floor. My name is Aroma. I expect to be seeing you more often. I hope, for Mirodin's sake.
What? Okay, wait. So, Juan, you're just gonna leave us? Like, we kind of need some info here.
She begins to wave her hand in front of the double doors, and they begin opening into a smaller room.
This is an elevator.
Essentially.
This is an elevator.
Essentially.
Magic elevator.
All of your questions will be answered on the 32nd floor. I promise you.
Okay.
I walk in.
It's at this
Yeah.
point when you're playing a comedy character that you get up there and start asking them about the mysteries of life, of like, how big will I grow and whatnot.
So, you guys enter the small room, the elevator, essentially?
Yep.
Alright. As you walk into the elevator, its structure and appearance is much like the cathedral. You have the list of floors 1 through 40. However, 40, there's not an option. It's kind of like a...
Keyed.
Yeah, exactly. You need to, stick some sort of key in there and eventually it's essentially activate it, so...
After stick your pinky in there.
Penthouse shit.
Yeah, but you
32.
hit 32 and doors close on this elven woman named Aroma, and she kind of just stands there, clutching the orders, till eventually she's out of sight, and you feel the whole room sort of jut and begin to ascend. It's a very awkward feeling, almost as if flying.
Never been in one of these before.
And as you
I
begin,
don't even know what this is.
This is neat. Like,
probably like around 45 seconds later, the double doors come to a stop, and you hear a slight ringing sound as the double doors begin to open to a dimly lit room. And on the far side, you see what looks like an entire wall made from a pane of glass, looking over the 8th district and further districts out to the south of the city of Northcrest. The light of the sunset pierced through the pane, casting a silhouette upon the granite floors behind a humanoid figure standing in front of the window. This room, he's probably like around 30 to 40 feet in front of you, and each wall is probably 15 to 20 feet to the side, so it's a fairly large
Alright,
suite.
so Aurelius, I need you to run up and kick that guy through the window.
Drop kick.
Yes.
I
So-
take the lead and leave first.
Alright, as you lead first, a magical fireplace kind of crackles in the corner, breaking down chunks of acacia wood. More artifacts lay in case, much like you saw in the lobby. These artifacts lay in a sort of like a glass encasing, and instead of a torch illuminating them, it's more like a magical white light, more white than like a normal torch would lit off a yellow. So it's more detailed from what you can see. Halfway to the figure, the room descends about 6 inches. Excuse me. So it's kind of like it's separated by like a stone step, if you can kind of imagine. Like there's just kind of like 2 levels that are just slightly off.
Yeah.
And that's just based on the architecture of the room. Adorned with much of the same artwork on the ceiling as you look up, and finally coming into view, 2 guards in full plate mail standing against the walls on opposite sides of the room, kind of in the middle of the room, but on opposite sides of the walls. You almost mistake them for a set of armor on an armor stand. However, they are individuals. Not moving a muscle, not speaking.
that's kind of funny.
With their helmets on. And as
No one notices the guard.
I wonder what happens if I were to shout at ease.
No, you notice them, but you mistake them as if.
Well, no, I know, but like mistaking them for armor just like shows that like they're significant, but like you never think of guards like
Yeah.
as much. Yeah,
They're all actually just golems.
guards are
Um,
fucking reptilians under their armor.
The guards are reptilian.
And Aurelius, as you begin to take the lead, Gildroy and Aurelia and Elowin following behind you, a voice kind of breaks the air. Long have I waited for an answer to your Ripleyanize calls. And this figure turns around, hands behind his back. This figure, reptilian in look, with dark red scales flowing alongside its face down to a long dragon-like mouth, teeth protruding in some spots here and there, and round spectacles lay across the eyes. A long black robe, open in the front, kind of exposes his scaly red chest, moving down to a pair of fine fabric black leggings and black boots.
Must be Felix.
It is indeed from, best you can
Yeah,
tell.
I think he said it in game. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I say that out loud.
Yeah.
And Felix, he turns around, but he doesn't walk towards you. He walks to one of the glass cases on the side of the room, about 10 feet away from where he's standing. And in it, from what you can see from right here, inside lays a black obsidian and iron rod, topped with a human skull. And it's kind of propped up on this, it's like, picture like a red fabric, and then you kind of have like a red fabric box, so it's kind of laying sideways, in the case. And as he kind of walks over to it, he stops, hands still behind his back. He's looking down upon it. This is the wand of Demon Lord Orcus, taken by Gareth Dragonsbane long ago. One touch by any outsider, any non-outsider, results in almost instant death.
Holy fuck.
I've brought you here today for great reasons. Many have answered our calls in the last 5 years or so, but I'm afraid the realm of men is running out of time. Many have recovered artifacts like the wand you see here. Unfortunately, not all have made it back to the Jarl Tower. You're probably wondering why you're here,
Yeah. We have a lot of questions.
and I have a lot of answers, hopefully. Please, I'll allow you to ask your questions.
So, first of all, what is who or what is after us? There was an assassin that had your name with ours on his list. Why?
An assassin with my name.
Mhm.
Solely my name?
No, it had our names on it too. Me and, well, someone not with us anymore. Ritz. Skip.
Well, I cannot say for sure, but in the event that you have traveled here, it has reason. I assume you got my call from a lone wanderer, a barkeep, a stranger.
Yes. Yes. A stranger. He's now also dead. Let me put this in better words. Does the name Algarath mean anything to you?
Algarath. It's the name of a demon lord. Why do you speak his name?
Anything about him? Because that's so it's a bit of a long shot here, but I don't think it's too far. The assassin had a tattoo on him, and the same as some kids we met in a city that attacked us. It was an A, a satanic A, with horns on it, and I think I still have it right in character. I'm not sure.
I drew a picture of it.
Oh, he drew a picture of it. Okay.
As you kind
And
of do you show him the image, Nick?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
and we think it's tied to this Algarath guy.
That being
so
said,
it would line up
that being
who's
said,
after you and all this.
when we were on our way here, I out in the forest found an obelisk that also spoke of Algarath. That's where we first heard the name. It seemed to be a prison of some kind, or some kind of warding magic that was. I don't know exactly. I'm not very well versed with magic.
Algaroth is a He's-Rao demon. He was captured long ago. There are a specific set of individuals out there who would like to free him from his entombment, but as far as his history, I don't know much about, but I can point you in the direction that would lead you to people who would know. As for this symbol that you found, this satanic A with horns, by what you're describing sounds more like the society. The societies within all forms of government, in some way or another, some sort of power, and, well, their will is not mine. They do their best to manipulate what they can. None here, fortunately. Your Ripley and I we are working on ridding the city of the society.
Okay, so on that note, what
Why they don't like you?
what exactly are we? What do you want from us? Like, why did you call us here?
I've called upon you. You've traveled to Northcrest out of curiosity and my guess is for adventure. Obviously. Not every human being, or dwarf, or half-elf, or elf, or halfling would undertake such an assignment. And I give you my word, this is the greatest adventure Mirodin has ever seen. And not only important for Northcrest and myself, but for Mirodin and the material plane itself. Long ago, a demigod by the name of Beirut, son of Lord Mantis, descended from the heavens and created a realm. A realm just as harsh as the Nine Hells, and just as hollow and chaotic as the Abyss. The realm housed many mutated incarnations, all crafted by the hand of Beirut, and in order to keep the realm from disintegrating into oblivion, Beirut attuned himself to many artifacts across the planes of existence. We've had people in the past attempt to recover these artifacts and bring them back to the Jarl Tower and dispose of them properly. However, each and every time they venture out, they bring back some, but we haven't been able to keep a steady group of people willing to go out and recover such artifacts.
What are these artifacts for? What are they used for?
Why do we need such a big collection of them?
These artifacts are extremely powerful. If Beirut and his minions get a hold of too many, he will soon become unstoppable. Rip open physical portals and gates to the material plane in Westeron, Winterhome, Jericho, and take over the world of Mirodin. We want to stop him from obtaining these artifacts. Much like the Wand of Orcus. And out of character, you guys, your characters, Elowen Aurelius, Gilderoy, and Aurelia, you're not really sure exactly how powerful these artifacts are. But for an assignment, for something this big, obviously these artifacts have got to be fairly powerful. And like he said, like, instant death upon touch, like, that's one of a kind. So these artifacts that he's explaining are essentially
Strong.
one of a kind items that are very strong and in the wrong hands could do immense amounts of damage to wherever they're taken and used by, essentially.
I don't know. What do you like?
Yeah.
He begins to speak again. There are many artifacts out there. Jarl Ripley and I have our sights set on at least 7. That's all the ones we know of currently. Not all, but most are evil in nature.
Okay. I kind of take a step towards him, resting my hand on my the hilt of my short sword. Not like to draw it, but kind of like how people put their hand on their belt loops and stuff like that to kind of hold their arm up, essentially.
Right.
Just casually walking up to him.
He stands there
Okay,
with
so
his
you want
hands
us
behind
to-
his backs.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want us to seek out these artifacts? Is there money, glory, honor? What do you offer?
I guess in a way you could say your life. And yes, of course, you'll be reimbursed for any sort of major purchases you make along the way, and Jarl Ripley and I will watch you very carefully and make sure you get anything that you need. But really, what's at stake here is the lives of the realm of men.
So you're saying we'll be heroes?
They will sing songs about you. However, if you are not successful, then portals and gates to the realm of Addajio will be opened, and there will be no one left to sing songs.
I look back to the rest of the party for a moment. I'm not saying anything, but just looking for...
Giltroy has a troubled face.
I ask. I say real quick again. Just let me hear it in plain words. What are you going to do with these artifacts once you have them?
We keep him here in the Jarl Tower. Dispose of them properly as best we can. They are not normally destroyed by mortal weapons, and some have to be disposed of in different conditions. However, most do not know that they are here or where we keep them. And like the
I don't
society...
know what these two are gonna say, but I'll do what you ask. On one condition.
What is that condition?
I keep one of these artifacts to myself.
That will have to be a conversation for another day. I cannot promise you anything. For if they're in your hands, they're just as bad as they're in the hands.
I agree to this.
These artifacts are more powerful than probably anything that you have ever wielded. And in your
That's
hands,
the good thing.
in your hands, they could be just as bad as in Beirut's hands.
Of course.
I don't know you.
But I only ask one, and I'll bring the rest to you. So real lesser evil. Out of all the options, I mean, come on. What's one?
These artifacts,
Honestly.
these artifacts, like I have explained, most, but not all, are evil in nature.
You ain't gonna get shit.
These artifacts should not be wielded by any mortal, not even myself. I'm afraid for now I have to deny your request.
Then I'm afraid I have to deny yours. I just look at the party. It's their decision on what they want to do in this case. I mean, Elwyn's made her choice.
I look back to the rest of the party as well. We could be heroes. We could be sung about for generations.
I don't want to be just sung about.
You could be worshipped for all we know.
I can also have all the power I wanted with one of those. Why would I need worship from people?
Do you really expect a man that you have met for 10 to 15 minutes to just willingly accept to give you a weapon that he has no idea of your intention?
Oh, hell no. but he has to. He doesn't want to. I don't expect him to, but
He doesn't have to. He will find somebody else.
I think we're a pretty good chance, and he definitely wants to have us do this, and if that's my condition, even though he's gonna decline now, I think he'll succumb. I'm gonna hold my ground here and say no.
And
You can agree if you want to.
as you say this, he speaks up from across the room. 123 individuals have came and gone from this Jarl Tower. Not one has requested an item. I can find somebody else. You aren't the first to come here and answer my calls.
Oh, I bet, but none of them have returned.
That is correct.
I'll return. We'll return.
What?
Well, how about we prove that first?
I'll.
And I turn back to.
Well, no, yeah, you're right. Hold on, Aurelius. I get it. And I look at Felix and I say, he's right here. We can go and get one and bring it back here to prove we'll return first. We don't have to get them all at once and, bring it in one big shipload, right? So, if we can prove that, will you reconsider? That's a good question.
I'm afraid more than likely you will not receive any artifact. These artifacts, some have brought back the Eye of Vecna, the Wand of Orcus.
Fuck.
They've been brought back. The man who was able to bring back the most, a man by the name of Tomas, brought back 3. And on his 4th try, did not come back. Sure, you may return with 1, 2, maybe 3 artifacts. But to get the whole lot is another thing. To give you one is an entirely different matter. The Horn of Balar, Medusa's head, Asarak's skull, the chalice of 1,000 souls. Wielded by no mortal. Too powerful for you, as some would intend to kill you. This isn't a matter of being powerful. This is a matter of these items will do a lot more damage in the hands of, say, you.
That depends on who you talk to, pal. I'm gonna stick with it here and say, if I find one of these artifacts, I might keep it myself. Maybe, who knows? But we'll see what these two agree on or not.
Felix looks over at his guards across the room as he hears you say that. And looks back at you.
Gilderoy almost seemingly like as if he's not been paying attention to the past conversations. Looks
Is
up.
this because Basic hasn't been paying?
I've been paying attention.
Okay, I was just making sure. I was making sure.
Gilderoy looks up. Is like, I think I'll be up to the task. But of course, as he looks around at fellow party members, probably need help.
I reach out to Felix with my hand and say, "You've got one."
He shakes your hand and he looks over at you, Gilderoy. And he said, "Speaking of help, I have someone for you. Someone that could aid in, say, travels to other worlds."
Gilderoy just perks up just a little bit more.
He kind of looks over across the room, and as you guys look back, a dwarven individual steps out from behind a door. Raptor, go ahead.
Stop smiling, you spoiling fucking.
Yeah, I love it. It's like a meme I had in my head. It's like when you're about to be introduced to the party, and you
Just Rap's face.
yeah, just smiling on the camera.
Looking back over your shoulders, a dwarven man appears from behind a door, steps into the room, Raptor, go ahead and describe what your character looks like. Because even I don't really know exactly what he's wearing and what he looks like. So
I am 4'9". So not a tall person. 4'6", excuse me. I have salt and pepper hair, a very well-kept beard,
Salt and
braided.
pepper hair.
My eyes are the color of copper. And I'm wearing something akin to a priest's robes.
as you see this dwarven individual step in, Aurelius, as you're shaking Felix's hand, you look back at him and he looks at you. This dwarf is one of the high priests of the city. He knows a lot about the different planes of existence, and I've called upon him to help the next set of travelers, if you will take him.
From what you've made these trials out to be, we probably use the help.
Dude, we need one. Like, dude, we
need a dwarf.
need one. No, a
I
healer.
was really waiting for you to let me
need
get
racial
out from behind
diversity.
that door.
We cannot defeat demons unless we have racial diversity, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was dark behind that door, Felix. Why did you make me stand over there?
Felix looks up at you, Gregor.
You're holding the cat. What is your problem?
My Nibba said salt and pepper hair and copper eyes.
Different kitty.
His name is Gregor.
Getting so descriptive with this shit. Like extra shit.
Felix kind of looks back over the party at you guys.
Huh?
He says, well, my apologies, I didn't even get your names.
Gilderoy bows. I'm Gilderoy.
Gilderoy. And you? As you break the handshake, Aurelius.
What? Sorry.
He's asking your name.
No, I heard you. Megan asked me a question.
Oh.
My name is Aurelius Marcus Grimnar.
He looks over at you, Elwin.
Yeah, I tell him Elwin. That's my name.
As he breaks the handshake, he kind of walks past Aurelius up to you, Elwin, and he says,
Mhm.
And if you wish to keep your name as Elwin, you will promise me you will not use these artifacts for personal gain.
Don't worry, it's not my full name. I only need the last part, I guess. I just kind of smile at him.
He does not smile whatsoever.
I said, funny thing though, a friend once told me names are really, really important. Keep it in your head, because you're gonna need it.
Well, it looks like you're in
Oh,
my
yeah.
abode, and I don't really
I
need to
do.
know your actual name.
I put out my hand.
I really wouldn't suggest messing with Felix.
Keep in mind that if you choose to leave here and use the artifacts for personal gain, you will not leave here. As he kind of steps a step closer to you.
Okay, but like, all right. How would you know even if I say I won't now, you're gonna think I will? Like, won't you? Okay,
No.
whatever.
What do you think I'm going to be doing?
Yeah. See, you got your trusty guy there.
Your
Okay.
trusty little side dwarf.
Yeah, I would say something else, but
There's no need to be
you're
rude.
already.
I am a high priest of this city.
So you got him there to watch me. I think you'll be fine.
Will it? Because I'm tempted to send you in the streets right now. Make a persuasion check, Cody.
Ooh. Next time on Game of Thrones.
And next time on Dragon
Surprise.
Ball Z.
Surprise, there is no next time.
Yeah. Surprised, everyone's dead.
Yeah. Good luck. Goodbye.
Fucking persuasion. Where is it? Wait, do they have a persuasion in this? Persuasion check? Diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, diplomacy.
Of course it is.
3.5. Is
Persuasion.
Whew.
that a nat 20?
Oh, that's a fucking nat 20.
Is that a
Okay.
Supra?
All right. As he begins to look you up and down, you've obviously had some sort of integrity to get to Northcrest on your own. I don't know how far you've traveled, but if you've come here, you're looking for purpose. I have to have your word on this matter.
I don't like to swear to things. They're a little too specific, but I can tell you that things might change. You never know. So like I said, you have the advisor guy watching. I'll think over it, but I'm not going to swear by anything.
Then you will not leave here. The guards from either side of the room take a step forward.
You don't really have a choice.
Oh no, he has a choice. He can leave
She.
right now.
She
Yeah, she.
Pronouns.
fucking up the
There you
RP.
It's man.
He looks up at you, Gregor. She has a choice. She can leave right now.
I swear by it.
The guards.
See, that wasn't hard.
The guards take a step back, and Felix looks back over at you, Gregor, and gives you a nod. This sort of body language communication that you have between one another. He's essentially telling you that you know what you gotta do.
Gotta do what I
Dude,
gotta do if something.
Do
seems
I
to
have to make a bluff check?
Are you bluffing?
Oh fuck yeah!
Make a bluff check.
Do I have to? I want to be fair about it. So like I'm like, do I have to make a bluff check to him?
Absolutely.
Sure.
I'd say if you're bluffing, then yeah.
For the hell of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm totally lying. Oh my god! Wait, no, okay, I was looking at the nat 20. I was like, I'm fucking getting.
No way. I rolled that same net 20 earlier.
I was like, shit, yeah.
All sense motive as well.
Yeah, go ahead, sense motive. Felix will sense motive as well.
Sure. I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick.
And yes, Gregor, so Felix gives the nod. He's essentially telling you that you know what you need to do should shit fly south. You are one of his trusted, not companions, but, yeah, basically a companion. Like, he's called upon you to,
I'm in on it.
yeah. So, after this whole kind of tense situation between Elowen and Felix walks back over to the pane of glass, this glass that kind of comes over a whole wall, looking out into the city. He turns back around. How long do you need to prep before you venture out on your first quest?
Maybe it would be a good idea to give us some
Okay, I'm
stuff
back.
so we can do this a little better. But,
Well, what do you need?
I think in general, well, no, we could probably just get it here faster. Aurelius would probably just need gear, and same with everyone else. Just like armor and
Looks like many
if
of
you
you
have
are
any
wearing
magic
armor.
items or something that would help us, or just gold even to like things we might find later that we need. So
To have access to
gold is just general, but
learning materials.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
sure
gonna.
everyone needs
Aurelius
someone
is
to
gonna
talk
speak up.
Okay.
What would you recommend we take with us?
Yeah, there you go. That's a.
We don't have much experience hunting for these dangerous artifacts, so your knowledge of what gear we should take with us is infinitely more than what our knowledge already is.
Yeah, Felix, which artifact are you sending us after?
He turns back around and looks out over the Northcrest 8th District. That is a good point, Aurelius. I guess it really just depends on what you're searching for, but I shall give you, say, around 1,000 gold. Magic items and things of that like are not necessary, but
But it
if you give a suggestion, perhaps I could supply. Your first artifact is called the World Hammer, a rod that holds a small globe on its end, located in the city of Glass in the Feywild.
Felix,
Real quick, is there a
you
note
know
section?
that that's my least favorite plane.
Dude, I hope someone is taking notes for this session because I am taking a break from him first.
No, that's fine. I've been writing down notes. I'm just wondering if there's a note section like in.
There is
Roll20.
a notes section for like it's right
This
next to
second
spells
last-
and misc.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I hate those damn fairies, and you know that, Felix. Why did you call me in for this one?
As he turns
I'm not-
around.
I'm not
We all
seeing-
must do what is good for the realm, Gregor.
I'm gonna use a knowledge planes check to figure. Well, I suppose I could just ask them
This
actually.
motherfucker sounds
Oh,
like
there we go.
Peter Baelish.
Yeah.
That's why I keep thinking Game of Thrones. This fucking guy sounds like Peter Baelish. I don't want to. He's such a fucking good, genuine guy, and I hate. Like, I'm like, this guy's gonna backstab my ass because like.
You
I
always
only
think
hear
people are
one finger
backstabbing
noises.
you.
Here's the thing, Cody. You say that as you plot to backstab him.
Oh, no. I know he's being like he's actually just a good fucking guy, but like I like and story-wise Elwyn knows he's a good guy, but she's not a good person herself. So yeah. It was just a thing where I'm like he does sound like Peter Baelish. He comes kind of off as backstabby.
Just so you know, Cody, this decision, this is a chaotic, stupid decision that you made.
No, it's not. The chaotic stupid decision would have been to kept saying I'm not gonna do it and not give him my word.
Either way, Gildroy, you wanted to make a knowledge check.
I was gonna just go ahead and just straight up ask him first if there's anything we should know about. Is there anything that we should perhaps know about this Feywild before we head off?
Well, other than being Gregor's least favorite plane.
There's fairies, freaky magical plants.
The Feywild, much like our material plane, it's a mirror. You go there, it's a very magical place. Magic works differently than it works here on the material plane, and overall, I would say the atmosphere is good, but there are bad parts of the Feywild. The city of Glass should be a city that would welcome you in open arms, but I haven't been there for quite some time.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll a knowledge check, just on the Feywild itself.
Okay.
See if Gildroy happens to know anything. At a +2, that's 13.
13, you know that time works differently there, which is probably the biggest piece of information about the Feywild that anyone could come to know. Like, that's pretty much, if you know about the different planes of existence, you know that the Feywild has a different sense of time. So, and that really just kind of depends on when you enter and when you exit. You could be in the Feywild for a week, and a year could pass on the material plane. You could be in the Feywild for a day. and a week would pass on the material plane. It's all very circumstantial and kind of random, and you're not really sure. But when you get back to the material plane, you eventually are able to find out its effects and how long you've exactly been gone.
All right. So time spent there is usually shorter than what actually happens in the material plane. Then
It could be shorter, it could be longer.
all right.
That's
Be back in
another
5
reason.
seconds. Come back 5 years older.
Oh no, you wouldn't age. Yeah,
Ah.
you would essentially be like you are now, just in a older world.
All right.
Things may not be as they were when we left.
Would anybody else like to do a knowledge planes check?
I don't think I can.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you would know. I'm not sure if Elowen would know. He probably has his mic.
How deep does
Sorry,
my
what is
knowledge
it when
base
sister came in?
stretch about the Feywild?
Say Ellen.
Knowledge
Ellen.
planes. What's that? What's that, Gregor?
How deep does my knowledge base span in the?
I think I have knowledge.
So basically, the Feywild and the Shadowfell share the same mirror. Like if the material plane, and then you have the Shadowfell, and then the Feywild. They're
They're like
mirrors.
the opposite sides of the same coin.
Exactly, and so the knowledge extent of the Feywild and the Shadowfell is pretty great compared to other planes, for instance, because the Feywild and Shadowfell are so closely related to the material plane. It's very easy to find information in various books and stuff on those planes. So I'd say your knowledge about the Feywild and the Shadowfell probably greatly outnumber any other plane.
Random question. How do you spell the name of the guy who we're trying to keep these artifacts from again?
Beirut?
Yeah,
Like
pretty
the
much how it
city.
sounds.
Beiruit.
ELOWEN.
ST. Fuck off. Okay, got it. And he's a demon lord, correct?
He's a demigod.
A demigod. Okay.
No, that was the other guy you were talking about.
Yes. Yes.
I bet he'd let me keep one. Fucking.
No way.
He's like, yeah, sure. Like,
You can keep one, but your soul's
but
mine.
I'm gonna blow up the world anyway.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh fuck! I'm part of the world, aren't I?
You better
Yeah.
send us somewhere better next time, Felix.
Oh, don't worry. You'll be going somewhere really nice afterwards.
Sends us to the abyss.
Fucking
Alright,
heaven.
so you owe me a drink for this one.
What, kitty? Yes. Stop headbutting me, you fucking asshole. Ow!
So I want some gold to buy some of that
Fuck.
liquor that they have in the Feywild. That's like
You
the
shall be
best
embellished with gold. Don't worry about it, Gregor. So, when will you be ready?
After perhaps we
A day?
acquire
A
more
week?
materials.
Let's get this over as soon as possible.
You shall be embellished upon leaving the Tower of Jarl Ripley.
My man's Gregor hasn't Gregor hasn't been exploring much, has he?
No, I've been
What do
to
you
many
mean?
planes.
He's just ready and anxious to go out and
No, I
Just-
just don't like the Feywild.
get it done, huh? Yeah.
Well, the
You
Feywild
probably
is his
know.
least favorite
When-
plane.
When you
You
go
don't
and
understand.
you travel around for a little bit, you're like, man, I could really use a day of sleep from that crazy stuff. Yeah.
I
say-
want to get done with the Feywild, so
Give
we
us
can
half-
go somewhere nicer.
Give us half a week to kind of rest and prepare.
Then it shall be done.
And so now the party has 1,000 gold at their
I
expense.
still don't get why you guys like oh, this is out of game. I don't get why you guys keep saying shit like give us like half a week. It's like
he's kind of at our mercy here, in this situation. A little
What do you
bit.
mean?
Like we could have said, you know, whatever, like time and shit like that.
Yeah, I just
It's like you say it as like he's
Do it
granting
right
us or something.
now.
Cody,
Yeah.
stop
Like,
playing with
what?
the lighter.
But
I'm not. That's not me.
Basic, are you messing with something?
when is
Fucking
Basic not
bitch.
messing with something?
It's making so much noise.
Yeah, it's a little whack pick. But yeah. Anyway.
I was just assuming it was Cody.
Nah, man.
Is this a
Alright.
conversation that you guys want to have privately about how long, or do you guys agree with a couple days, or what is essentially the?
It's fine. It's fine.
A
yeah,
couple days should
not
work.
too bad.
Okay.
Because really, we're not. It's not gonna be like forever
Right.
to
Giltray,
actually get
Real
ready.
quick, what would you say the reason for you joining along was? Just curiosity? Just so I can
The
mark
original intent was this is endgame. I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah, more so for my notes and everything, because like you gave a reason when you said that you join up. Did you not?
The reason was
Like, what did you give?
research of a particular subject, magical in nature.
That's fine. Just research, just so I can know what you said.
So, upon leaving the Jarl Tower, you guys are given 1,000 gold each.
Ah, interesting.
Each.
Probably should have asked them how long we were planning on staying in the Feywild, but we should plan on the being in the Feywild. See here. What time of day is it currently?
It's late afternoon, pushing into the like, I don't know, 6 or 7 time range. I'm assuming you guys would go ahead and like to stay at the tavern that you had last spent the night in,
Yeah,
or
stay the same one. Yeah.
Gildroy goes to look around for
I like the
an
one
no, an enchanter wouldn't be applicable. Oh.
Can I stay in the tower, Felix?
yeah, no, Gregory. I mean, you have a place in the tower, so
Oh,
it would essentially be up to you if you wanted to go with him. But I'm assuming you probably would rather like to stay in the comforts of a.
no, it's much more comfy in the Jarl's Tower.
All right, but like
I'm gonna
you're
go.
coming down to us. Like
Yeah,
we're not
you
coming back.
probably
up.
would want to. Yeah, you'd probably want to get to know the party a little bit too. I would assume, but
It's up to
you.
Gregor.
It's your character. Yeah,
And
it's your character.
he's not coming to you guys. You guys have to come back. You guys have 3 days.
Yeah,
to...
we still have to come back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck. All right, just stay in your fucking tower then.
Well, no, I'm going to the tower to sleep. I'm not staying there 24/7.
Okay, so you're with the party.
Yeah, but sleep in the tower. But
Oh.
then, like,
Okay.
I want to get to know everyone because I'm gonna have to deal with these people for some indeterminate amount of time.
Okay, well, as they make their way back to the tavern, Gregor, you're realizing that this place that they're staying at, this tavern, the Axe and Compass, is around 45 minutes away from the tower. It's a 45-minute walk. So it's up to you if you would like to travel back to District 1 for the night or stay with them. Either way, you guys take a couple nights to rest up. If you're not at full, wait, so 3 days? Go ahead and add 3 HP. Aurelius, I don't know, 17, 18, 19, you're at 20?
It would bring me just under. Yeah, I'd still be under.
Yeah. Several days pass by. Gregor, you get to know the party. Their wants, their needs, I mean, their whole backstory, essentially. Is there anything that you would like to keep? I know, Elowen, you probably want to keep something. You just seem like that shady type of person. You probably want to keep a small detail out of the hands of a companion of Felix. I'm not sure if you have anything, but Is
I
Mike,
do not. I made it pretty obvious that I wanted to sign up for this for
I think
to be a hero.
I think his mic's muted.
No, what are you saying?
Oh. Basically, what the party's going to do is tell Gregor their story, and if there's any sort of small detail that you would like to be left out,
Oh.
unless you're cool with kind of like telling him where you came from, like the Oakart to Regal Port, or sorry, Oakart to Oxford Cross to Regal Port and Tywin. And
I would tell him everything
I-
about the barbarians and the
Yeah, I already
coming
knew
from
about some of that
Oakart
stuff because they were
and all
telling
that.
Felix.
like coming from Oakart and all that stuff. But I guess the main stuff I would leave out is, if I left out anything, would be, Ritz's, death and like how I felt towards Tywin, finding
See,
out
but
that letter, and I would keep that letter away.
Keep in mind, I know how I knew your plan about Tywin. Like I'm aware
Okay.
of the kind of person you are. I'm just saying that. Like, so you know. I
Okay,
don't
but
know if you-
here's the thing. If I'm mentioning stuff and then I don't, and I mention all the Tywin stuff and I don't mention my whole plan and everything, I don't think to you it's not like you just be like, well, she had this whole plan to kill him and stuff. Like, no,
No,
that doesn't-
that's not what he
I'm not
means. He's
saying
saying,
that.
like, in
That's not what I
passing,
mean.
if Aurelius and Gregor may have a conversation on their own, Aurelius might bring up some details that you did not give to Gregor.
Yeah.
And also, it would allude more to, like, I would know more of the person that you are.
I would say,
Based
yeah,
on what you
that
hide.
would be random if it was like for instance, if that's just randomly brought up, that is kind of weird. But like,
No, I agree. I just want
if-
you to be aware that, like, I just
Yeah.
wanted you to know that is
yeah,
a thing.
but if like I become like an increasing threat to the party because of like certain things, like let's say like that develops or something, then and like the party starts getting paranoid, then it's more accurate for that sort of stuff to be brought up. That's all I was saying.
Yes. No,
Yes.
again, I get that. I just wanted to let you know that you did bring that up to me, so that in case you forgot, that I do know, and I would know that you kept that from the story. So I just want you to know
I'm
that.
saying
Okay.
I'm saying I don't think that would feel awkward to keep that from the story. I think that would feel normal. It's like, why would I just randomly blurt that out? Like,
For
that'd
you,
be
yes,
weird.
but it also makes me know that, like,
It would also be
it just-
highly likely for Gregor to ask questions about you based off of the fact that you already appear to be untrustworthy.
Well,
This is
what
true.
I'm trying to
Gregor
what I'm
does
trying
not
to
trust
point out-
Elowen, and by default does not trust a lot of the party either.
What I'm trying to point out is that it would kind of make Aurelius more aware of your not backstabbing nature, but your kind of behind the back nature.
I guess.
Like, again, I'm not saying it wouldn't be weird for you to put it out there, but you know that I was very against that plan. So
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is that plan wouldn't even be like a brought up thing, no matter
No,
who you
he's
are.
not saying he would bring it up. He is
yes,
saying that Aurelius knows more about you by your decision to
Yes.
not bring it up.
yes, it makes it.
Shows
I would
it shows
learn
off your
more about-
character.
It
I
shows more of your
disagree because
personality.
I don't think anyone would bring it up. So I think that because anyone wouldn't bring it up, it's not like he thinks I'm hiding the information from the guy. He just thinks I'm not mentioning it.
I see what both of you mean, but regardless, it's not a huge
It's
deal.
like a
It's
normal
not-
thing not to just bring it up. So why would he think I'm hiding it? He's just like, oh yeah, like
That
Yeah,
that whole
was
thing
awkward.
delves into like how you tell the story and all that, you know, all the small little
that's
details.
how I view it. Is it's just a normal thing to like tell the important parts, to not all the details of like, oh, by the way, I had this plan in the middle.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't be weird to say that. I know it would be very awkward to throw that out there. It's not something that everybody would know. But Aurelius is now the only person that knows of your idea to do that. Well, no, sorry. You told what's her name as well,
Aurelia.
Aurelia. So we both know that you have this other side to you that isn't shown to everybody, is what I'm trying to say. by these little things being kept to
Oh
yourself.
well, yeah, just those happening. Yeah, you know that. But I'm just saying, like,
Yes, no, I know. Yeah. I see what you're
keeping
saying.
it away from them. Yeah. I
Okay,
just think
boys,
that-
let's get back. Let's get back.
Yes,
to
let's continue.
So,
Yeah.
several days go by. Aurelius, you heal up to 20 HP, I think it is currently.
Yeah, it'd be 20.
And you get to know a little bit about Gregor, and Gregor, you get to know a little bit about the party. And while there's not much to say about the sort of travels that they've been through, as far as going from Okar to Oxford Cross and Rigoport and the likes of that, the days go by very uneventfully. Gilderoy, you wanted to go to an enchanter?
Not go to enchanter because I realize I don't have anything that can be enchanted. But I'm gonna go find.
You also don't have money for that.
I have 1,000 gold on me.
That is not enough money for that.
You know,
Raptor.
You
I
have
mean,
no idea, Rap.
Raptor. Gilderoy doesn't know this, so I mean, like, at least
Yeah.
I'll let him try.
you also do not know Gilderoy's backstory, so shush. Let's see here. I'm gonna go find a scroll vendor, one that has probably like Featherfall or something like that.
Okay, and searching about a mile down the street from the tavern from which you came, picking through the various shops, and eventually you find one that looks a little bit more high-end than the rest. What are you trying to find?
I'm looking for a scroll of Featherfall.
Scroll.
Preferably 2 of them.
Scroll of Featherfall. What's that do essentially? I'm guessing you probably you can fall from a certain height and not take damage.
Basically, yeah. You fall slowly.
I think you take no fall damage.
Let's see here. 60 feet
glide.
per round, so basically 10 feet per second, which is still kind of fast, but it's not that fast. So.
Okay. So sifting through the scrolls takes you about 10 minutes to find a scroll of Featherfall. It runs about 10, 15. We'll say 15 gold.
15 gold. All right.
Yep.
I will go ahead and.
You said purchase 2, so 30 gold for the lot.
You know what? Since they're a bit less expensive than I thought they will be, I'm gonna go ahead and get 4. So
60 gold.
60 gold. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Here. I am not bringing up a calculator.
So, if that's the extent of your purchases, I mean,
I'm probably
sorry.
checking on the church.
I'm going to go buy a few potions as well, and that's it.
okay. Potions. What potions?
Just like health potions, different types,
Oh, okay.
just so we have more in case of injuries. How much are lesser and moderate healing potions again? Each.
So a cure light wounds, I believe, said was 20 gold.
Okay, and that's a lesser healing potion then.
Yes, that's a 1d8.
Okay.
I am also going to look for.
How much were the cure moderate wounds?
Cure moderate was, I think, 35.
Okay. I will buy what I'm going to and subtract it. I'll let you
Okay.
know what I end up buying though.
All right.
I'm also going to look for. I think it was. Scrolls of mage armor as well, and see how much those cost.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna buy like 3 potions of cure light wounds. Just to have extra.
It's a scroll of mage armor.
Yeah.
That's 25 gold. Sorry,
25 gold
sorry,
apiece.
30 gold. 30 gold apiece.
30 gold apiece.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and get 2. And minus another 60 gold.
I bought 6 cure light wounds and 4 cure moderate wounds.
Okay.
I'll probably also give myself 2 cure moderate wounds potions.
I'm probably going to make sure that the church will be well run in my absence.
Absolutely. Like you shouldn't. There's nothing you have to worry about, Gregor. It's all handled. You've kind of have a hierarchy of individuals who are taking over in your absence, and will be easily accessible when you get back. Should you ever choose to go back to the church.
All right. I think that about covers it.
I'm gonna send you a message, Ryan, about another inquiry I have.
Okay. You go
But
ahead and do that.
More private one, yeah.
Gotcha.
I'll also see if I could get some vials of holy water, because I already have vials. Just in case we run into anything malign.
Okay. You're able to obtain vials of holy water very easily through your church at no cost to you.
I'll take 5.
Okay.
Boy.
I was gonna get 3 potions of cure light ones. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't. How much did you say they were each?
Cure light, 20.
20. Right.
Several days passed as you guys began obtaining the items, and you're not quite sure exactly what you should bring, what you shouldn't bring, especially to the Feywild, another plane of existence. However, you will eventually find out exactly what it all is when you get there.
I'm going to see if I can get, like, some smelling salts, or something along those lines to break someone out of, like, a compulsion or illusion.
Why are you talking in character?
Salts?
Yes, some type of something that would snap them out of, like an alchemical item. I'm assuming I know where I should go. Something like that.
What specifically are you looking for? Because I'm not very familiar with what you're talking about.
The smelling salts would probably like wake somebody from unconsciousness.
Yeah, it's something that's used to wake
Not
people up.
necessarily intrinsically smelling salts. I'm looking for something that I could use in case someone gets caught in some type of enchantment or illusion. It's not necessarily an item that exists.
Okay, so basically, what you gotta do is you gotta take your palm of your hand, all right, get it sized up to their cheek, bring your arm back, and then
And
fucking
just-
slap them.
That doesn't necessarily work.
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't, they're a bitch.
A smack.
A smack.
I cast smack. Does that cure them?
So you're trying to
Inflict.
You're trying to
Inflict
find
mass
an alchemical solution to break someone out of an illusion?
Yes.
What do you mean? What do you mean by break someone out of an illusion? Like
like if probably enchantments. What he's talking about.
Yeah, like enchantments or basically enchantments. Is probably
You're wanting a
what I
true
would-
sight potion, like
No, not true
No.
sight. Literally.
that's what it.
no,
Okay,
that's
so-
what
Turn
lets
down.
you see through
Okay.
magic.
Hey, Nick, I cast charm person on you. Okay, so
Would-
how do you break out of that easy? Aside from, maybe somebody just actually casting dispel magic, or you resisting.
well, that makes
Making
sense,
There's
but I
no
don't.
item for
yeah.
it.
Well, that makes sense, but I don't know what he means by break out of an illusion.
He's using the wrong words there. He's more specifically talking about
Enchantment.
enchantment magic.
The more apt
Yeah.
description.
Ignore illusion. He's talking about enchantment.
So something like how Basic is talking about that would break you out of a controlling
Yeah.
Yes.
Or even just a dazed state, probably that's magically induced. If not magically, then
Because I know
through mundane means.
Trixie shit.
Okay. That.
You just get some mace.
Yeah, a vial of that solution would probably run you around 10 gold that the church wouldn't readily have available, but you could probably request and get it fairly easily.
I'll get that.
Okay. Yeah,
And
like
I'll
I said, one vial costs around 10 GP.
So I'll get 2. And how much money did he give me?
You have just over 1,000 gold, I'd say. I'd say he would definitely give you 1,000 gold as well, so you're probably sitting around like 1,100. So, was there anything else that you would like to bring up before we move on? Elowen, Aurelius, Gildroy?
I am good.
I don't think
There's
so.
nothing that comes to mind. Actually, let me go ahead and actually make sure I have the basics. Okay, I need a bedroll. I'm gonna buy myself a bedroll.
Okay.
You know what? That's a good idea.
And a tent.
I'm also gonna buy a bedroll on 10.
What I
Just a
recommend
backpack.
is bringing
What's
up
up?
the list of goods and services and sifting through that.
You know what? That's a good idea, boss.
That's a good idea.
You know that thing that we used to do when we played Pathfinder and we'd pass the bug around? Yeah, that thing.
Man, I don't. Yeah.
Do the thing, but online.
Do this.
All
Do
right.
that same thing, but in not person.
So just go ahead and
Adventuring gear, tool.
we'll move on with the story. However, by end of session,
Yeah.
add the stuff to your inventory, and by next session, when I bring it up, whatever you don't have on your character sheets, will have not bought. Or you will not have bought in Northcrest. That sound fair? So you have till the end of the session,
Just
or
make sure you have everything.
yeah, you have until like around the end of session to like the next session to pin down what you want to
go grab some real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so tents are pretty fucking heavy. So who wants to be the pack mule of the group?
Probably Gregor.
That'd be me.
Okay, here, carry a 20-pound tent that houses how many people?
We'll say you bought a 5-person tent.
Okay.
Perfect for the lot, for the party. Sorry, a 6-person tent. We'll make it 3 and 3. We'll make it even, not some odd number. 6-person tent. 6-person tent, which a normal tent is like what? We'll say 50 gold, 6-person tent. It's a very well made 6-person tent.
Okay, I'm back.
Alright, I will plug that into my calculator. You said how it was worth 50 gold?
Yeah.
Shit, that ain't gonna.
So, buying all your equipment. The third day comes around. Tuesday morning, sun sits over the city of Northcrest as it is time to head back to the Jarl Tower and talk to Felix about your travels to the Feywild. You're not really exactly sure even how to get there, but from what Gregor has mentioned, a portal of sorts is essentially the only way to get there.
On his way there, Gilderoy decides to buy a hat. Just a mundane hat.
Fedora.
Covers his... Not a fedora. I was gonna say. You know, I was half tempted to say he just gets a fucking wizard's hat, like the the stereotypical like broad button now.
Okay. Just a regular hat.
Regular hat keeps the sun out of his eyes.
All right. That'll probably run you like
Couple silver.
a
For
well-made one. A well-made one. Like 2 silver. But if you want kind of like just like a fucking thing.
Well-made hat. There, 2 silver.
Cool.
Lamb.
So, venturing up, Gregor, you're kind of taking the lead. Moving through the double doors, the guards outside stand perfectly still as they recognize you, Gregor, making your way into the facility down the long cathedral-like corridor to the set of double doors in the elevator up to the 32nd floor. They open to Felix sitting on his island countertop, enjoying
Hello, Felix.
enjoying a drink. Ah, you're here, finally.
Time to go.
Well, I hope you've had enough time.
Are you going to be sending us, or I'm going to have to go find a portal?
Out of curiosity, this has no relevance. I'm not even asking this in character, but do I just happen to spot, like, does Giljoy spot, like, you know, like a personal bar in the room, or does he just happen to have a drink in his hand?
Oh, there's a modicum of a personal bar. It's very small and
Very
not
small.
as elegant, but there is a small bar affixed to the corner
Alright,
of the
then.
room. The window pane kind of you can see is much brighter now. The room is very much lit, being that the wall is essentially a glass pane. He looks over at you, Gregor. Why don't you send him there? And out of character, Gregor, I'm giving you the ability to cast portals to other planes once a day.
I have plane shift.
You have gate.
Oh yeah, literally I have gate once a day. Alright, fine.
Interdimensional gate, but
Let's go, everyone.
So as you
Can
begin,
I borrow your wait? Can I borrow your window? I think it's coolest.
sure, that's fine.
you know what? Let's just have him cast gate. All right, at the steps, the front steps, and then everybody just skydive. And anyone who doesn't make it is not worthy.
Yeah,
You
everyone.
can't make it into the small hole. At least in
Come
the
over by the window.
next...
Everyone, come on this way.
Gregor, as you begin casting this spell, like it's a spell, right? You said gate.
Yeah.
These purple and blue arcane energy begins to succumb over the glass
Divine.
pane. Huh? Is it divine? My
It's
bad.
divine.
My bad. This divine magic begins to cascade over the window pane and creating a large portal, this circle portal that kind of swirls into oblivion and giving off this very slight sound.
Alright, I'll go last. Everyone go through.
Giljoy, just
I walk through boldly.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was
Giljoy starts
kinda
walking through.
And as you all
reluctant.
stepping into the portal, like setting into a warm bath, though the chill didn't fade from the air, at first everything muted. You hear nothing. The roar of a river around the rocks below, chirping of frogs and crickets on shore. The evening bustle of town, just off in the distance. A moment later, a world erupted into vibrant color and life. Frogs and nightbirds sang a chorus. The air was awash with autumn scents. The moonlight painted the flowers in tridescent blue, and you see off in the distance, not one, not two, but 3 planet-like structures in the sky. Some farther, some nearer.
And
Flowers
before
and
I go through. Wait, before I go through. You owe me, Felix. And then
flowers in iridescent blue, silver, violet, and the rushing of a river became a complex symphony, cacophony, throughout the forest as you step into the Feywild. And that will conclude the session for tonight.
Damn.
Ending with, I'm still a piece of garbage.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
Now then, this is the point
I'm sorry,
in the
making a
session when we start complaining about leveling up or something
What-
like that.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Somebody said-
indeed do to level 2, level 3.
Ah, alright, my bootlicking check has succeeded.
There you go.
Somebody
Really?
said
Serious,
thanks, Nick.
Ryan?
What I do?
The tone.